Graphics, go Brownie.
Dent Concussion Center presents Monsignor Martin football on MSG as the Aquinas Little Irish take on the St. Joe's Marauders from New Era Field in Orchard Park, New York. Hello again, everybody. Chris Brown along with former Bills wide receiver Donald Jones, as this is the first of 4 games we'll be bringing you here on MSG this fall. And tonight, it's the battle of Buffalo versus Rochester. These two teams both coming off blowout wins. St. Joe's beat Cardinal O'Hara 41-14 last week. And then you have Aquinas handling Batavia, their first loss for Batavia in 3 years in the Rochester area. They beat them 42-6.
I tell you what, Chris, throw out the scores. It doesn't really matter. The game is here, New Era Field, bright lights. This game is going to feel totally different for these young high school players.
If there is one player, though, that is all too familiar with the confines of New Era Field, it's St. Joe's quarterback Casey Kelly, the nephew of Bills Hall of Fame quarterback Jim Kelly, whose name is here also on the Wall of Fame. And Kelly is a big reason why the Marauders are 2-0. The first thing that stands out about him is his size, 6'4", 230 pounds, and he used that size on the ground in their last win, running for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. But make no mistake, the kid has an arm. According to his head coach, Derek Landry, he can make all the throws, a fantastic leader. His teammates love him, and he's got the pedigree you want, Donald, in a quarterback.
You talk about the pedigree. You talk about his uncle, Jim Kelly, great quarterback here for the Bills. His older brother, Chad Kelly, played here as well. He won a couple of state championships right here in this building.
Going on the Aquinas side of the ledger, they've got a playmaker in their offensive backfield as well. The running back, Karan Robinson, number 7. This kid's quick as a hiccup. Runs a 4.4 40 time, but he can run over you or around you. Anytime he touches the ball, it could go the distance.
4.4 in high school?
Yeah.
I don't expect him to run through anybody. I expect him to run around everybody. They won't be able to catch him. Karan, Casey Kelly, both juniors. That's a great thing for both of these teams.
2 exciting offensive playmakers for 2 teams that can put a lot of points on the board in a hurry. Should be an exciting matchup. Aquinas and St. Joe's coming up next here on MSG. High school football coverage is brought to you by Dent Concussion Center. When in doubt, sit out and call the Dent Concussion Center at 716-250-2000. And by Units. Visit units.org today and learn how you can save a life. Welcome back to our debut broadcast of Monsignor Martin football here on MSG, as the Aquinas Little Irish will be taking on the St. Joe's Marauders here at New Era Field in Orchard Park, New York. Chris Brown, Donald Jones with you as we are moments away from the coin toss and kickoff. Aquinas comes down the thruway, making this road trip out to Orchard Park as they come from the Rochester area to face the Buffalo-based St. Joe's team. And the Aquinas coach had some words for his team before the game.
Keep talking there, Chris.
Gentlemen, introduce yourselves, please. Gentlemen, Mr. Dowling and I will be in the middle of the field. Paul Gagliardi, Craig Donnelly. Questions, you come to one of us, okay? Aquinas, you're the visitor. Heads, tails, call it in the air.
Tails. Tails.
Calls the tails, it's a head, you have won the toss. You may kick, receive, defend, defer. Not the football. Second half choice yours. What goal do you want to defend right now? Put your backs there. Face each other. Come together, gentlemen.
All right, so that's head referee Paul Gagliardi for the game tonight as St. Joe's has won the toss. They have elected to receive, and so Aquinas will kick off to them. And to do the honors for Aquinas on the kickoff will be Casey Hockmeyer, who also, Donald, doubles as their safety. And oftentimes you see this in high school where you got position players doubling as kickers and punters because they're hard to find. They're usually too busy on the soccer field.
Yeah, they're definitely hard to find. They're busy on the soccer field. But in high school, you see guys play both sides. You see guys play everything in high school, you know. So that's a good thing for this kid. He'll be involved in this game.
So as we said, Aquinas will kick off. We take a look now at some of the special teamers who will be part of this kickoff here. Set to return for St. Joe's will be Micah Brown and Ron McCarley. We'll get to them in a second. As we mentioned earlier, Aquinas came down the thruway to make this trip to play St. Joe's here in Orchard Park. And let's hear from the head coach of Aquinas as he addressed his team before the game.
Not hard to do it. Probably not worth accomplishing. Plain and simple, okay? So everything that you accomplish, as long as you work hard for it, it's definitely worthwhile, okay? Tonight is going to be hard. They're a good football team. They're going to go out there and bust their tails, okay? You guys are going to go out there and bust your tails like you have all year long. There's no doubt about it. Last week was a great week. We played a great game and everything. That's over with. Guess what? We go out there tonight, the score's going to be 0-0. They don't let you carry it over. They don't let you bring it with you. It's 0-0. We got to start from scratch, plain and simple. All right, we need to get out and get after them. Fact of the matter is we're going to do it three ways. We're going to do it with emotion, okay? We have to go out there and play with emotion. This game is based with emotion. But it also, we need to have it tempered, okay? We have to be able to think critically, make the right decisions, okay? We need to keep our emotions in check so we don't take stupid penalties. I don't want to see anybody doing anything selfish because their pride gets hurt. You get knocked down, you get back up. You don't punch anybody in the face. Okay? You be smart. You get up, you punch them in the face the next play. When it's legal. You go whistle the whistle. Okay? Emotion's going to carry us. Sense of urgency. Knowing your assignments. Caring about what you do. Okay?
That's Derek Anacchino, the Aquinas head coach, addressing his team before the game. We are just about set for kickoff here. As we mentioned, Casey Hockmeyer set to do the honors for Aquinas. Brown and McCarley are back to return for St. Joe's. So, Donald, we've got some playmakers back there that can do some things with the ball in their hands. You always wonder, are they going to kick right to them and take their chances, or are they going to try to angle it towards the sideline and hope they don't put it out of bounds?
Well, in high school, you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully, they kick it right down the middle, and these guys will get a good return. They got some playmakers back there, though, so we'll see if they can return it to the house.
Ball is kicked off, and we are underway here for the Monsignor Martin football season on MSG. As the ball is fielded by McCarley, he's got an opening down the left side, dodges first out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Good drive start here for St. Joe's, and a nice return by McCarley. Eluded two tacklers on the play.
Like I said, when you kick the ball down the middle, these guys can make plays, and McCarley there, he kicked it down the middle. He took it to the left side and picked up an extra few yards.
There we take a look at Casey Kelly, the quarterback we mentioned in the open, 6'4", 220 pounds. 12 of 33 passing this year for 241 yards. His rushing yards aren't that far behind. He is a running threat. St. Joe's comes out in that pro set. Two in the backfield for him. First and 10 at the 38. Fakes the handoff, tries to keep it, but he's dragged down immediately behind the line of scrimmage.
It looked like they were about to run some sort of an option play, but the defensive line for Aquinas was in the backfield right away, and he was nowhere to go for Casey Kelly.
We take a look at the starters for St. Joe's up across the front. It's Doty, Wood, Dable, Gross, and Gradolf up on the offensive line. And then Julian, the tight end, McCarley, Bowling, Brown, the receivers, Livingston, and then Kelly at quarterback. And another run up the middle here. Not a whole lot there, as Aquinas is going to force 3rd and long here for St. Joe's, and making those 2 plays early. Both tackles for Aquinas is their middle linebacker, T.J. Jones. As we look at the Little Irish defense, the DeBonis brothers on the edges, along with Waters and Ginn inside. Got some beef in the middle there with 500 pounds between the 2 defensive tackles. Trey Brown, Jones, and Montgomery, the linebackers. Noble and Connor, the corners. Hockmeyer and Jones at safety for the Little Irish.
That was a good play by Jones. We'll see if he can make another one.
3rd and 8 here for St. Joe's. They want to keep the sticks moving. Let's see if they can do it. Kelly rolling out under pressure, eludes the pass rush, comes out to the left side, but a host of tacklers there for Aquinas who wrestle him to the ground. It's going to be 3 and out for Joe's as the Irish fans are up and standing.
Casey Kelly did a good job of eluding number 1, Trey Brown, but the rest of that Aquinas defense, led by T.J. Jones, once again, it seems like he is going to be all over the field today.
Coach Landry for St. Joe's did talk about the team speed that Aquinas brings to the field. It's going to be something they're going to have to contend with, apparently not only on the offensive side of the ball defending it, but also this defense is a fast flow unit.
Casey Kelly is back to punt as well. I guess he's doing everything for this team.
Punt is away, not a lot of hang time. This could be returnable. And bringing it back the other way and up the left sideline with room to spare is Shane Noble. He's going to take it the distance. 10-5 touchdown Aquinas.
Great play by Shane Noble. Once again, when you kick the ball down the middle of the field in high school, they sometimes don't keep their lanes, and Shane Noble takes it all the way to the house.
He just took it to the wide side of the field and outran everybody to the edge, and then had to cut it back inside late from the backside pursuit, and it was smooth sailing. I don't think anybody touched him, Don.
I don't think anybody touched him. Somebody breathed on him, but nobody got a chance to touch him. Some great blocks going up the left sideline, and he was able to make a few good moves and took it all the way to the house.
On the return, block in the back, Aquinas.
All right, well, there were no flags on the field at the end of the play, but it looks like it's coming back on a block in the back. We did see a couple of borderline blocks there on the replay, and it looks like they've got them caught, so we're going to take those 6 points off the board. As it looks like Aquinas, after the mark-off, is going to have the ball just inside their own 40-yard line, 1st and 10.
Nonetheless, a good play, but sometimes this will happen at all levels.
On the return, first down.
Sometimes here at the high school level, though, these kids, number 5, T.J. Jones, just didn't do a good job of keeping his body and his hands on the front side of the play, and he got the block in the back.
So it's 1st and 10 for Aquinas, and we'll get to the quarterback situation in just a second because it is a rotational quarterback deal for Aquinas. But right away, it's John Clark completing a pass out wide to the wide receiver, Eric Carter.
Speaking to the coaches this week, they're going to go with this 2 quarterback rotation type of system. John Clark, as you talk about, he is a junior. He's the one with the stronger arm of the 2. We're going to see how it plays out as they go back and forth between these 2 quarterbacks.
In the last game, they went every 2 series, rotating in and out. John Parinello, the senior, is the other quarterback, number 10. So clock here on 1st and 10. After that first down pickup on the reception, we'll start a fresh set of downs here right at midfield. It's the handoff, and going right up the middle is Robinson, and picks up about 3 on the play. And let's take a look at the starters here for Aquinas. Up front is Dan DeBonis, the left tackle, Foster and McClellan, the guards, and Aquino calls all the signals up front in the pivot. Ricky Todd's the right tackle.
And Aquino is the coach's son.
That's right. Take a look at the skill position players. Mahar, the tight end. McNair and Carter, the primary receivers. Clock, the quarterback. Torres, your fullback. And Robinson, who we mentioned at the top of the show, the talented running back. In the shotgun, fakes the handoff, turns and throws, completes the pass to Eric Carter, who's got some running room, first down and more before he's tackled at the 30-yard line. Pickup of 20 on the play.
They went with a wide receiver screen over here to the right, and Carter did a good job of going up, catching the ball. He made a couple of good moves going up the field. The biggest thing was he turned it up the field and picked up yards. Sometimes in high school, these kids want to go sideline to sideline. He didn't do that.
Misdirection working there for Aquinas on that play. Clock gets the signal from the sideline, heads into the huddle, as Aquinas will have 1st and 10 from the St. Joe's 30. Two receivers split out wide. Robinson, the lone back in the backfield. Coming in motion there is Jones. Hand off to Robinson, shakes a tackle in the backfield, cuts to the outside, forced out of bounds. Another first down for Aquinas, who's picking up yards here, Donald, in some big chunks. Take a look at the St. Joe's defense now. So across the front there, it's Nick Julian, Daybill, and Sclafani, the defensive tackles. Walker, the defensive end on the other side. Riley Wood, Garrett House, and Micah Brown, the linebackers. And then in the secondary, it's Bowling and McCarley on the corners. Livingston and Klein are the safeties for the Marauders. So 1st and 10 here from the 18-yard line for Aquinas, as they're now in the red zone, threatening to score. Clock under center, drops back to pass, and incomplete off the hands of Jones out on the right side.
Just a little bit too wide for him. Jones might think he needs to lay out for that when the quarterback can do a better job the next time of connecting. It was just a little bit wide. They'll make that play next time.
2nd and 10 now. It's right in between the 18 and 17-yard line here. It's just in between the hash marks. And now they put the nose of the football right on the 17. So 2nd and 10 from the 17. As we are just underway here. First quarter, no score between Aquinas and St. Joe's. Clock takes the snap, hands off to Robinson, bounces it outside again, gets to the edge before he's forced out of bounds, just shy of the 10-yard line, a pickup of 6 on the play.
We talked about this earlier, the 4.4 speed in high school. He is looking to get to the outside, and in high school, with 4.4 speed, you can get to the outside and turn that thing and take it to the house.
Yeah, in the pros, they don't want you bouncing runs quite this much, but when you're that fast, they're not going to argue with it.
They're not going to argue with you down here in high school. His 4.4 speed, that is something we got to pay attention to tonight.
Got a flag on the play. I think we might have had 12 men in the huddle. So that's going to be assessed to Aquinas. They were having problems with their substitution.
Dead ball foul. Illegal substitution. Offense. 3rd down.
Sometimes you have these issues at really at all levels where one guy goes in, 2 guys go in. They don't call 2 guys out, and you'll see it at all levels. That's what they made a mistake of today. Hopefully they get that corrected.
So a 3rd and 6 quickly turns into a 3rd and 11 from the 18-yard line. Clock in the shotgun now, takes the snap, back to pass, under a world of blitz pressure, but finding in the end zone for a touchdown is number 20, Casey Hockmeyer.
He ran a flag route to the right side of the field, and the quarterback just laid it up there to him. He made a great play on the ball. He went up high. They teach you that as a receiver. You go up and you catch the ball up high, and I think he's going to kick this extra point.
I was impressed with that pass, though, from Clock. I mean, he was under a world of pressure. That was an all-out blitz, man coverage on the back end, and Hockmeyer got by his coverage assignment, and the extra point is up and good by Hockmeyer as well. So he's going to count for all 7 points that the Irish have put on the board here, as they are up early by a score of 7-0 over the St. Joe's Marauders. And after a 3-and-out, Donald, by that St. Joe's offense, they got to get something going here.
They definitely have to get something going. But back to that play, a flag route, the quarterback just lays it up there for him, and that's what you got to do. Go, let the ball go, let your playmakers make plays for you, and then let him go and kick extra points.
Just got outside the safety there. He got there just a hair late and allowed him to get in the end zone. Good play by Hochmeyer, who was also a starting safety for this Aquinas defense. So just under 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And Aquinas on the board first. And it was going to be interesting, Donald. Both of us were interested to see just how this game was going to play out in the early stages, because both of these teams are coming off games in which they handily defeated their opponents. We're expecting this game to be a little bit tighter tonight. And sometimes when you come off a blowout win, you know, sometimes reacting to a tighter game, you know, the kids get a little tight, maybe lose their cool a little bit. Be interesting to see how each of these teams handles the early stages of this game.
Yeah, if this is a tight game, you got to see how these kids can handle it. You got to see how St. Joe's can handle. They're 2-0, so you got to see how they can handle coming back from down 7-0 right now.
Brown and McCarley back to return for Joe's. This one's going to go to Brown on the other side after McCarley fielded the first one, bobbles it, takes it at the 3. He's going to throw a lateral, but that looks like a forward pass. It might be coming back. Yeah, flag on the play. McCarley's going to go the distance here, but it's all coming back on a forward lateral. So, nice idea, just not great execution. Unfortunate for Joe's, because that was a great play.
It was definitely a great play. Like I said, in high school, sometimes they don't stay in their lanes.
Go down to the head official for the
Legal
call.
forward pass
Yeah.
on the offense.
So legal forward pass for St. Joe's. It's going to bring the ball all the way back to deep in their territory, but we're going to take a replay look at this. You can see he throws it from the 7-yard line, and by the time McCarley catches it, he's at the 12. So that's a 5-yard completion. Unfortunately, they're not on offense. They're on special teams.
I've had a chance to make those plays, especially back in high school, and I remember I was so excited. We were running in practice, and it's like, man, I'm about to make this play, and then all of a sudden you get in the game and you throw the ball forward. And that's the one thing coaches tell you not to do. Throw the ball backwards, and
Legal
he threw it forward
pass on the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So St. Joe's is backed up all the way to inside their 5-yard line. Not ideal for a drive start by any means. They're going to have the long way to go here.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, but I think they're going to have to run the ball to get out of here. It's just a little dangerous to drop back and pass it. We'll see what they do here.
Tight formation here on 1st and 10 for Joe's. Inside handoff. A quick hitter. He gets past the 10-yard line before he's labeled on that play.
He was definitely got a good hit on him, but that's a good way to create a little bit of cushion for this team. They go right up the middle with that option type of attack, pick up some yards. They can feel a little bit more comfortable now.
That was Brown on the carry, so now it's short down and distance here, 2nd and 2. You can open up the playbook a little bit. Kelly under center. Livingston and Brown in the backfield. The fake is to Brown. Kelly keeps it and gets past the first down marker for a fresh set of downs as he gets out to about the 13, 12-yard line here.
Talking to St. Joe's head coach, we talked to him a little bit about his offense. They run a mixture of spread and veer. We've seen a lot of the veer here starting off. We'll see if they mix it up a little bit more and go more to a spread look.
So 1st and 10 now for St. Joe's. They mark the ball at the 16. Again, same formation. 2 receivers to the left, couple in the backfield. Handoff inside to Livingston, and nothing doing there. And really, St. Joe's is having a hard time driving this defensive front of Aquinas off the line of scrimmage, Donald.
The biggest thing in defending the option, you have to make sure that you stick to your assignment. Aquinas is doing a very good job of sticking to their assignment. They have a person that's taking the dive. They have a person taking the quarterback and the pitch man. They're doing a good job right now.
Only 1 yard on that carry by Livingston. Brings up 2nd and 9 here from the 17. 2 receivers out in the formation. Quick handoff. Ball's on the carpet. Livingston with the fumble. But it looks like Joe's recovered. I couldn't tell who bounced on the ball there. It was
That was number
It was either Cam
77.
Dable or Tyler Doty, the tackle.
There you go. He was the one going up the field and bounced on the ball. I bet you he wanted to pick that thing up and run with it, but he did a good job of falling on it.
So the fumble was advanced, actually, for extra yardage. So it brings up a 3rd and short here as we see the ball stripped on the replay as Livingston was twisting and turning for extra yardage. Yes, it was Doty on the fumble recovery. Another inside handoff, and away from the crowd is Fabian Livingston into Aquinas territory before he's hauled down at the 36-yard line. A big play that St. Joe's needed badly.
I have to get my eyes in the right spot. I thought Casey Kelly still had the ball. That was a good job of running out that fake, and I'm sure it did the same thing that it did to me to that Aquinas defense, and you've seen it play out there as he broke one for a nice run up the middle.
44 yards on that carry as St. Joe's is finally in Aquinas territory here with just under 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Little Irish up 7-0 on the Marauders as you see Livingston taking off before Hockmeyer catches him from behind for the tackle. Kelly back under center, 1st and 10 from the 36. Pitch play, and now it's going to be a flea flicker. Looking deep for McCarley. He's got it at the 8-yard line. Tackled at the 4.
Those are the types of plays that you want as a running back coach. I'm telling you, I can do everything. Give it to me, pitch it to me, I'll run it, I'll make the pass. He made the pass there. Great play by the wide receiver. 1st and goal.
St. Joe's going into their bag of tricks here. They had one on special teams that didn't work, but that flea flicker worked very well.
You know, you'll see when you start to mess up your assignments every now and then everybody gets a little bit confused, and then next thing you know, you can pull out a trick play, and it worked there for them.
We got a timeout on the field as St. Joe's is going to think about this one as they set up a 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. And we're going to take a break and step aside, but when we come back, it's 1st and goal for St. Joe's as they look to tie this thing up with Aquinas. Here it's Senior Martin football on MSG. Back at New Era Field, Chris Brown, Donald Jones with you as Aquinas is trying to hold St. Joe's out of the end zone on a 1st and goal play from the 4. Handoff right up the middle, and not a whole lot there, maybe a yard or two, as Kelly kept it on a keeper. Bring up 2nd and goal from the 2.
Kelly did a good job there of trying to get what he could get, but that defensive front of Aquinas did a good job of stuffing it up, and we'll see what they do here.
Yeah, James Waters and Frank Ginn, the 2 defensive tackles in there for Aquinas. They really plug things up. Joes has had a hard time driving them off the ball. Only a yard on the play, so it's 2nd and goal from the 3 here. Kelly again with the sneak, gets a hole up the middle, touchdown!
Man, that was a wide open hole. It looked like the running backs faked like they were going to the outside, and maybe the linebackers and defensive line went with them. That thing opened up wide open, and Kelly took it all the way in for the score.
And not only at the line there, Donald, it looked like there was nobody there at the 2nd level either.
Nobody at the 2nd level. I think everybody got faked out. I thought they were about to run some sort of option. They faked me out as well. They did a good job there.
Looks like Joes is going to go for 2 here. Look at this formation. As Micah Brown is the player for the snap. It's a pitch play, and it works to the up man for 2.
Man, they are pulling out all of the tricks out of the bag today. They're going to do what they have to do to make sure that they win this game. We'll see how many more tricks they have left in the bag, but they are using them right now.
Keon Howard, the fullback, gets the ball for the 2-point conversion. And just like that, Joes is up a point, 8-7, 3:42 left in quarter number 1. We're back in a moment. Monsignor Martin football here on MSG. Monsignor Martin football on MSG as St. Joe's with a 1-point lead on the Aquinas Little Irish after a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Time now for keys to the game. First for Aquinas, contain Casey Kelly, the quarterback, win the battle in the trenches and take care of the football. And it's gonna be important containing Kelly. They didn't do it on that last drive. For St. Joe's, it's about the individual matchups at the skilled positions, rotation to keep the players fresh, and containing that Aquinas speed, Donald.
Well, for Aquinas, they have to do a good job of containing that option attack, and it all starts up front line play. It doesn't matter. Football is football. It all starts in the trenches.
Time now for Joes to kick off, and back to return for Aquinas is T.J. Jones and Karan Robinson. Kick is up and away, angled towards the near sideline, and it goes out of bounds. And maybe that speaks to the return capabilities of Robinson and Jones. They don't want to mess with those guys.
Yeah, no, they don't want to mess with those guys. Jones has already had a big one for 91 yards,
right.
a kickoff return just like that one. It looks like they want to kick it short. I don't think they wanted to kick it out of bounds.
Yeah. So it was an attempted angled squib kick of sorts, but it goes out of bounds, and the flag was thrown. And they will re-kick.
Kick out of bounds. Re-kick. 5-yard penalty.
So now St. Joe's will kick from their 35. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Donald. They had no intention of kicking it out of bounds. They're just trying to keep it away. from the two talented return men for Aquinas here. They kick to the far sideline, and the up man will take it. And he'll get to the 35-yard line. And that's where Aquinas will set up shop. As Marlette Connor had the return there. He's a receiver in a corner, so it's not like he hasn't had the ball in his hands before.
You know, you're trying to kick it short, but when you kick it short, you give them the ball almost at the 35-yard line. So now they have a shorter field. That's what happens when you have dangerous returners. You got to do something different, but you're going to give them the short field regardless.
So clock comes back on for a second series here for Aquinas. We'll see if there's a rotation on the next offensive possession. As Coach Anacchino likes to roll the quarterbacks, Clock and Parinello, every 2 series. We'll see if that's the case on the next possession. In the meantime, 1st and 10 at the 34. Inside handoff, and going nowhere there. Was Shane Noble.
Shane Noble is the one that made a big play in the last series, the last drive for Aquinas, but he wasn't able to get anything going there. TJ Jones and Robinson coming back in the game right now.
And head coach Derek Landry for St. Joe's is the one that calls the defensive plays. We'll see if he's made some adjustments here. Kobe McNair out wide right for Aquinas. High formation in the backfield. Hand off to Robinson right up the middle, breaks it outside, and he's got some running room, 45, 50. He could go the distance, 30, 25, forced out of bounds at the 15-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle there by Ron McCarley.
Well, we talked about Karan Robinson and his 4.4 speed, but that was a great play by McCarley not to give up. I guess he has 4.4 speed as well because he did a good job of catching up and making the tackle.
So you see him on the inside before he breaks it outside. Nice stiff arm there, and then it's off to the races.
Yeah, he did a good job. A great stiff arm, off to the races, and like I said, good play by McCarley to catch up with him. Touchdown, saving tackle. We'll see if that defense can stuff him here, and if they can, that was a good job by McCarley.
50-yard run by Robinson sets Aquinas up 1st and 10 at the St. Joe's 16-yard line. Shotgun snap, handoff again, coming out to the right side, and cutting it back inside is Shane Noble. Nice 1-2 punch here between Robinson and Noble.
He put the ball on the ground that time. That's something that I'm sure the coaches are going to talk to him about. A big play. You can't put the ball on the ground. A good job by his lineman, though, to jump on it.
Robinson checks back in. He needed a breather after that 50-yard run.
Yeah, I think I need a breather after that one as well.
2nd and 4 at the 10-yard line here for Aquinas. As they set up the inverted wishbone formation. Clock in the shotgun. Handoff to Robinson. Good penetration by Joes, but Robinson spins off a tackle and gets positive yardage on the play and almost a 1st down to boot.
Yeah, that was a good job of dodging the initial tackler. Robinson is a good player. I mean, he's showing his speed. He's showing the circle button, the Madden circle button with the spin move right there, and a good job to just get some positive yardage, you know. Now you got 3rd down and 1.
Interesting thing about Robinson is he's 5'10" and a wiry 180 pounds. And you think about pad level sometimes with him, but talk about that on the next play. He runs very upright. Clock under center here on 3rd and short. He's going to sneak it forward, and it looks like the surge by the Aquinas line got the 1st down. And we saw that as one of the keys, battle in the trenches here. And it's gone back and forth. Early on, Aquinas kind of had the edge. They were standing tall at the line of scrimmage, but then St. Joe's offense on that last possession where they scored really kind of put it in gear at the end of that drive. Now here comes Aquinas the other way.
Like you said, here comes Aquinas with their playmakers right there. They brought everybody in tight, and that offensive line, everybody going straight up the middle, including the quarterback.
Some power football here by Aquinas. 1st and goal at the 5. Inverted wishbone look again. Clock in the shotgun. Hand off to Robinson, eludes a tackler, plows up the middle, gets inside the 5, maybe down to the 3. We'll see where they spot it here. They spot it just inside the 4-yard line.
That was another good job by Robinson to elude the initial tacklers in the backfield. And you were talking about him running upright. He is doing a good job right now. He's very elusive in the backfield. He is making sure he does a good job of just picking up positive yardage up the middle.
Well, the first quarter is going to run out before Aquinas can run another play. We'll step aside with the Marauders up 8-7 on the Little Irish. You're watching Monsignor Martin football, brought to you by the Dent Concussion Center on MSG. Back at New Era Field, Chris Brown, Donald Jones with you as Aquinas is threatening to score here. 2nd and goal from the 4. The sneak by the quarterback down to the 1. Did he cross the goal line? He did. Touchdown, Aquinas.
Both of these coaches must be seeing something right in the middle. They spread them out there. They did a good job to spread the team out, and the quarterback just took it right up the middle for the touchdown.
John Clark with the touchdown on the sneak. It's a 3-yard touchdown run. And his score looked a whole lot like Casey Kelly's score on the last possession for St. Joe's.
It did. I'm telling you, they must be seeing something right up there in the middle that they want to exploit, and they're doing a good job once they get down inside the 10, inside the 5.
Hochmeyer on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So just 4 seconds into the second quarter, the Little Irish have the lead back. They're up 14-8 here on Monsignor Martin football, presented by the Dent Concussion Center on MSG. Field in Orchard Park, New York, where Aquinas right now has a 14-8 lead on the St. Joe's Marauders. Just under 5 seconds into the second quarter here. We take a look at the coach's file. Derek Anaquino for the Aquinas Little Irish. It's his 20th year with Aquinas football, but taking over as head coach. Aquinas, a 7-time state champion. Anaquino spent his first 19 years with the team as an assistant before becoming head coach this year. And
talking to him earlier this week, one of the biggest things that he talked about with this football team in the past was a lack of discipline. So with him taking over, he wanted to make sure he instilled discipline in his team. They're going to need it tonight versus this option attack and Casey Kelly and these running backs running the ball.
Anaquino replaced former Aquinas coach Chris Battaglia, who he served under for the better part of those 19 years. Aquinas set to kick off here to St. Joe's as the Joe's fans in the stands are getting boisterous, hoping their Marauders have an answer. Kick goes deep, and returning this one is Micah Brown, running behind a host of blockers before he's taken down at the 24-yard line.
Sometimes you want to take it to the sideline, but sometimes on kickoffs you got to take it up the middle. That time he wanted to take it to the sideline. He really couldn't get too much going there.
So out comes Casey Kelly with the St. Joe's offense.
Let's see what they come out here with, if they're going to go with an option or if they're going to go into a spread type of offense. The option has been working for them. I don't expect them to change anything.
Trey Bowling split out wide to the right. Couple in the backfield. Inside handoff to Livingston. He fumbles the ball again. Scooped up by Aquinas. Going the other way. And in for the touchdown is Marlek Connor.
Put the ball on the ground. They give it to the up back on the option. He takes a hit and he puts the ball on the ground. Good job by Connor to pick that ball up and take it to the house. Somebody got a hand on him. I thought he was about to go down and he kept it going.
It's a tough night for Fabian Livingston here to start this game. That's his second fumble in as many series.
They're going to have to
get a sick feeling when that happens.
Yeah.
You hate doing that.
You definitely don't want to do that at any level. They're going to have to make sure that they keep him up on the sideline. You're talking about 2 fumbles in one game. Make sure you talk to him on the sideline. Keep him, because they are going to need him in this game to keep on running this option attack.
And he's their starting running back, but it's been a rough night so far for Livingston. We'll see if he can bounce back and make some contributions to the offense. Extra point by Hockmeyer is up and good. And a 14-point swing here in a hurry by Aquinas as they now have a 21-8 lead here early in the second quarter on the Marauders. St. Joe's is going to get the ball right back here on the kickoff, and they got to get some points up here fast or they're going to be behind in a hurry.
You know, it's really hard to see from the angles that we can see if he even ever got that ball. You know, it seems like it came out right away. So we have to see if we can get a good angle to see if that ball was in his stomach or if it never really got into his stomach as a good handoff.
It looked like there was some contact between his elbow and the hip of a defensive lineman there. His own offensive lineman was driving a defensive lineman off the ball and kind of into the gap where Livingston was looking to run. So maybe as he's swinging his arms with the ball, his elbow hits the hip of the defensive lineman and it just pops loose.
You know, we talked about both of these teams coming off of blowout wins. St. Joe's 2-0. I don't know if they've been down yet this year, but guess what? They're down 21-8 right now. We'll see if this team has what it takes to fight back.
Coach Landry talking about how his team has really bonded through the course of the offseason going into this year. They went to a lot of the summer camps together. The offensive linemen go out to dinner together. They have team dinners the night before games. He said it's really brought this team together as a tight group. They're going to have to rely on that tight bond here now as they're staring a 13-point deficit in the face. Another fumble on the kickoff. Ball is loose, and Aquinas has it again. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable right there. You got to communicate on the back end. The coaches have to. This is what the coaches have to do. They have to get these guys on the sideline, make sure that everybody is not, they don't have their heads in the tanks or anything like that. Make sure they're communicating out there especially on the back end on the kickoff.
Looked like the two
Free
return
kick
men
recovery
for St.
by
Joe's.
the kicking team. First down, kicking team.
It looked like Brown and McCarley, the two return men, weren't sure who was going to field the ball, and it went right off the chest of Brown, and then unfortunately 10 yards out in front of him. He couldn't even fall on the thing. It went right into the arms of the oncoming Aquinas players.
You know, sometimes when you have two returners back deep, these are the things that can happen. That's why some coaches elect to go with one returner back there, and you just are the one to make the plays.
Fantastic field position here for Aquinas. 1st and 10 at the 21. It's a pitch play to the right. Karan Robinson going to try to take it to the edge, but St. Joe's is there to force him out of bounds after a short gain of maybe 3 or 4.
Karan Robinson is fast, man. He is fast. I thought they had him in the backfield, and he made a nice little move and picked up some extra yardage just to make a positive play out of nothing.
Well, that's what Coach Anaquino said. He said, you know, Robinson's great at making something out of nothing, and he did that just there. As we see the pursuit from the backside, and he's just leaving people behind. 11:27 left in this first half. 2nd and 7 here now for Aquinas on the St. Joe's 18-yard line. I formation, one receiver to the left. It's Parinello, the quarterback now, hands it off inside to Robinson. Nothing doing there, no gain, and this is the first action Parinello's seeing tonight. He's the other quarterback. He's the senior, wearing jersey number 10.
Yeah, this is what we talked about. They want to go with the first quarterback will get a couple of series. Now Parinello comes in, and he will get a couple of series. They'll see who has the hot hand, but the person that has the hot hand right now is Karan Robinson.
You got that right. So Aquinas threatening to score. Joe's has got to hold them out of the end zone here, or they're going to find themselves in a world of trouble in terms of a comeback trail. Down 21-8, and Aquinas threatening again. It's 3rd and 7. Pass over the middle. Ooh. Caught in the end zone.
Man,
touchdown.
That was
what concentration by Kobe McNair.
Odell Beckham-esque great one-handed catch. You know, those are the types of plays that you dream about making in any game. But now you play here at New Era Field, and you can make a play like that. He will always remember that play right there.
Coach Anaquino calls McNair a playmaker. He made a play there. And, Donald, you can speak to this. When the ball's bobbling and you're falling to the ground, you're hoping the ball falls with you at the same time so you can pull it in, and he was just able to get his fingernails on that thing.
You know, you have to make sure that you are concentrating there. That was great concentration by him to keep his eyes on the ball no matter what else was happening. Great catch, great play by him.
Got a flag on the extra point attempt here.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense.
So Aquinas will get a second kick at this point after attempt. As Hopmeyer puts the tee down. 20 unanswered points right now for Aquinas. Could be 21 if Hockmeyer's good. And we got another flag. Go down to Paul Gagliardi, the head official.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
One for each now, as we'll back it up for the extra point. Going to be a little bit longer here for Hockmeyer.
Saw him make one from 45 in the pregame. I don't know if this one is going to be this is like a chip shot for him.
It's clear that Joe's is trying to get hands up for a block. They came close on the last extra point attempt. Hockmeyer gets it up, and it is good.
It came very close right there, and they had some guys come through the middle. That was almost blocked right there, but way to get it down and get the kick up, and it was good.
10:39 left in this first half, and Aquinas is up early, 28-8. The Marauders have got to come back with an answer here. Monsignor Martin football on MSG. score here in favor of the Little Irish as we're bringing you Monsignor Martin football here on MSG. Chris Brown, Donald Jones with you, and it was 21 unanswered points in a hurry. The last touchdown going to Kobe McNair, who made a juggling catch for the last score.
That was a great play by McNair. A great play. I'm telling you, he's going to dream about that touchdown.
And a good throw over the middle there by Parinello as well, who just got into the game, Donald.
That was a. This is why they can't figure out who's going to be the starting quarterback, because both of these guys are making plays.
So Aquinas now set to kick off, and St. Joseph's got to come up with an answer here. 21 unanswered points. They had an 8-7 lead. Suddenly they're down 28-8. Kickoff goes on the right side to Brown, who's going to work behind his blockers, spring through the hole, out to the 42-yard line. Nice return there by Brown. So a good drive start for Joes. See what they can do on this possession.
You know, the biggest thing in any sport, but especially in football, Aquinas has to make sure they do a good job of keeping their foot on the pedal. And they cannot let St. Joe's get anything going here, because if they do, just one touchdown, you can see the momentum shift. So Aquinas has to make sure they do a good job of not letting St. Joe's get anything.
So down 20, Casey Kelly's going to see if he can get this offense moving. Two backs in the backfield, fakes the inside handoff, keeps it himself, and only gets a couple of yards on the read option.
I wonder at what point, if this coaching staff and this offensive coordinator for St. Joe's decides that he needs to throw the ball to get this team back in the game. Still early in the game, so they might feel like they can stick with the run game, and it was doing well for them early in the game. We'll see what they do.
Cam Dable, the center for St. Joe's, is seen as the strongest kid on the line, so not surprising to see Kelly trying to run behind him to get yardage on that inside keeper. Second and 7 here. It's another inside handoff. And fighting for first down yardage and almost getting there was Micah Brown.
It's going to depend on the spot. That was a good run up the middle, good strong run, and a way to fall forward. Now they got to figure out if it's going to be a first down.
See if they decide to come out and measure. No, they say third down. So it's going to be third and short for Joe's here. They've got to convert and keep this drive going. Kelly under center. He's going to sneak it forward, and the surge looks like it's going to get him past the sticks. So a new set of downs for St. Joe's. News 4 Sports is your home for high school football. Get more local highlights and coverage from Western New York's news leader.
St. Joe's looking like they want to stick to the run. It's still so early in the game, second quarter with 9 minutes left to go. They got a lot of time here. They can continue to run the ball, and it seems like it's working, especially up the middle of the field.
So first and 10 now for Joe's. Going with that same pro set. Another inside handoff. And a couple of yards on the play there for Brown, who's been a busy guy on the ground here.
Yeah, he's definitely busy trying to go up the middle of the field. That was a good job by Aquinas defense to stuff that one. We'll see if Casey Kelly pulls the ball and he decides to pitch it. And we'll see what other tricks they have up their sleeve as well.
Yeah, I mean, between the attempted lateral on the kick return and the flea flicker, you got to believe there's a couple of other things in the bag of tricks here for the Marauders. Kelly keeps it inside, dodges a tackle, stiff arms another man, 30, 25, and down to the 23-yard line. Maybe the best run of the night for Kelly.
That was a very good run. It looked like he wanted to go to the outside. The defensive end jumped it. He jumped right up the middle. Good run, couple of good stiff arms, a good run by Casey Kelly. He seems big. He seems big.
He's 6'4", 220.
Oh, so he's like Chad Kelly's little big brother.
Yeah. He's got some size, and he ran for 160 yards in their last win and 3 touchdowns. So he can get it done on the ground, even though he does have a good arm. Handoff goes inside again on first and 10 from the 24.
You got to imagine here that they are going to pull it down and do something to the outside. They keep going up the middle, up the middle, up the middle. I'd like to think that at some point soon here, you will see them pull it and you will see them play action, go up top on this defense or something like that.
Well, you can isolate the receiver on the far side of the field right now. That is the wide side. And we know Kelly has the arm to get it there. They split 2 receivers to the left side. That's Bowling and McCarley out there, but it's another inside handoff to Micah Brown. Spins away from a tackler inside the 5. First and goal, Joes.
I guess I was wrong on that play. They want to continue to run this ball up the middle. They are seeing something up the middle that they want to exploit, and they are doing a good job with this option attack. I don't know if Aquinas defense has picked up on what they're trying to do yet.
The interior of that offensive line, Wood, Dable, and Gross clearing the way there for Kelly and Brown on this drive. Those 2 guys have handled it exclusively the whole way down the field. First and goal from the 5. Another read option keeper, and Kelly will get down to about the 2-yard line where it'll be second and goal, gain of 3.
Kelly might have wanted to hand that one off to the running back. He was going up the middle by himself. He would have been in the end zone. Kelly still falls forward and gets positive yardage. Good play by St. Joe's.
And let's give credit to the St. Joe staff here. You know, they're down 20, but they didn't panic. There's a lot of football left here. I mean, more than a half of football with only 6 minutes left in the second quarter. They get a touchdown here. They're right back in the game. Second and goal from the 2. Kelly under center, going to try to sneak it again. The surge gets him into the end zone. No word from the official. There it is. Touchdown, Joes.
Man, they see something up the middle of that field. They are going to continue to exploit that. And like you said, they are not showing any panic. Nobody on the football field, not defensively, not offensively, and especially not Casey Kelly. He is making plays for this team. He is showing why his coaches call him the leader of this team.
Second rushing touchdown of the night for Kelly as they set up another unique 2-point conversion formation, much like the last one. Micah Brown back to take the snap. He'll take it there. He's going to look to throw, rolling out, and does he get to the end zone? He does! Athletic play by Micah Brown for the 2-point conversion.
That was a good play. That was a very good play. He started to come over towards this sideline to the right side, and everybody was fast flowing with him. He makes one cut and goes north. Very good play.
So with a pair of 2-point conversions, Joes is only down 12 here with just under 6 minutes left in the first half. Heck of a drive there by Joes there, Donald. I mean, they needed to have an answer there, and they did. I mean, they just drove it right down Aquinas' throat to get a touchdown.
You know, as you were talking earlier about this team bonding, it seems like, you know, these guys, they know. Look, it doesn't matter how far we get down in this game. We know we can come back. Good play by
Micah Brown
there. Way to stick his foot in the ground and go north and south and get that ball in the end zone
and then
for
have
2.
The presence of mind to put his arm out to make sure he got it over the plane of the goal line there. So a nice play by Micah Brown, who's really kind of stepped forward here on offense. You know, Fabian Livingston having a little bit of an issue with ball security, and so they've been relying on Brown and Kelly here of late, and it's worked.
It's the Brown and Kelly show. We'll see. We'll see if they continue that this entire game, and if Aquinas can't stop them, why change?
Back to return now for
Dangerous.
Aquinas. It's T.J. Jones and Karan Robinson. Pick your poison there.
Dangerous. We'll see if they kick it deep to him. I think they're going to squib kick this one. Hopefully they can keep it in bounds. But if that ball goes deep to either one of those guys, it can be dangerous.
Here's a toe ball from Casey Kelly. It does get back deep into the territory. Robinson handling it, looking to work behind some blockers, find a crease. He gets up the right sideline, almost escapes again to the 34-yard line. We're going to take a look now at the special teams units, brought to you by Units. As we see Clock doubles as the punter, the quarterback. Hockmeyer is a safety, also the kicker, who we've seen a few times tonight. Noble, the punt returner, and Jones, the key kick returner. DeBonis is the long snapper. And for St. Joe's, Kelly is the kicker. And we saw McCary and Brown on returns. Dable is the long snapper. So here comes Aquinas, 1st and 10 at their own 34. 5:41 left in this first half. Back in the shotgun, Parinello, inside handoff, and working away from tacklers, trying to spin for extra yardage there, but not very successful was Robinson.
Almost all of those yards were after contact. He's trying to go beast mode on this defense. Robinson is the one with the hot hand right now. He is a playmaker for that Aquinas offense. We'll see if they continue to give him the ball.
He does not go down easily, and they've really got to contain and wrap him up. He seems to be getting away from initial contact on almost every single play. 2nd and 4 here now for Aquinas. Parinello fakes the pitch, goes to the pass. Jones with the reception behind the line of scrimmage. Flag on the play as Jones is taken down for a 2-yard loss.
Quarterback wishes he can get that one back. If he puts that ball on the mark, Jones is bringing this one all the way to this left sideline, and he could take that one to the house. He has the speed.
We go down to Paul Gagliardi for the call on this play. Legal block. And we also have a St. Joe's player down on the field. Going to try to identify who that player is.
On the offense.
So hard for us to see who that player is that's down and injured. He was grabbing his stomach when he first went down. I thought maybe the wind just got knocked out of him. Hopefully that's all it is.
That is the worst feeling when you get the wind knocked out of you. You feel like you just can't breathe. You can't get your air back.
We remind you that News 4 Sports is your home for high school football. Get more local highlights and coverage from Western New York's news leader.
This Aquinas offense needs to make sure, like I said earlier, that they keep the foot on the gas pedal. If they don't keep the foot on the gas pedal here, they've already allowed that touchdown. They've already allowed for that possible momentum shift by St. Joe's. They need to move the ball down the field and pick up some points here.
They're going to be facing a 3rd and medium to long situation. They lost 2 yards on that play, had an illegal block in the back. So you have to believe Joe's is going to take the penalty, which will move it back even further, though they wouldn't lose loss of down. What do you do there, Donald? Do you take the penalty, or do you leave the play alone because you got a 2-yard loss and put them in 3rd and 7?
I think I'd rather put them at 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'd rather have 3rd and medium to 3rd and long. You just have a better shot at stopping. They have so many weapons. You need to have 3rd and as long as possible.
We're looking at Karan Robinson and some of his exploits tonight. Here's his 50-yard run from earlier in the game. Spins away from tacklers. I mean, initial contact just doesn't work against him tonight. He's really had a banner day.
Karan Robinson, I mean, he's pulling out all of the Madden buttons today. Spin moves, you know, truck sticks, everything. He is pulling everything out of his back pocket tonight. He is a weapon, a good player for this Aquinas offense.
Well, Joe's decided to march Aquinas back on the penalty, so it's 2nd and long here for the Little Irish. Parinello drops back to pass and complete on the slant.
Short.
They're short of the first down, but that's a great pickup there as the receiver, Kobe McNair, who had the touchdown on the last drive, comes up with a big play.
Now you got 3rd and short here. This defense, this can be a huge play. If they're able to stop them, you have a 3rd and short right now. And you talk about momentum shifts, this would be it right now.
3rd and 3 for Aquinas. They're going to go to the spread formation here with Parinello in the shotgun. Sorry, he's under center. It's an inside handoff to Robinson, and he's got some running room. Look out. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Aquinas. Good grief.
Great move by Robinson. He is a true weapon for this team. Great move, great play call. And those are the types of plays that will kill a team. Those are those heartbreaking plays, back-breaking plays. Great play by Aquinas.
Robinson now over 100 yards rushing in the game. We're not even out of the first half. And smart play formation there by Aquinas. They spread the field with 4 receivers, leave Robinson in the backfield. And so when he gets to that second level, there's tons of space to work with.
All he had to do was make one move, you know, and that was that, what do they call it, the R3. You use the R3 and you make your little shake move. He made that on, I believe that was a safety.
Extra point by Hochmeyer is up and good. So after a long sustained drive by St. Joe's, Aquinas strikes from distance again. And just like that, they're back up 35-16. 3:46 left in the first half. We warned you, these are two teams that can put points on the board in a hurry. Aquinas is doing a better job, but there's plenty of game left here for St. Joe's.
St. Joe's right here, they have an opportunity to score before the half. But as we look at it, Aquinas, Karan Robinson, man, this kid is having one of his best games, a game of a lifetime. Great move right there. I believe it was on a safety. And like we said, that 4.4 speed, once he gets out there, nobody is catching him.
62-yard touchdown unofficially there by Robinson. So he's got a 50-yard run and a 62-yard run in this game. He's over 100 with those two alone.
Just those 2 runs. And he's had a lot more. He's going to go for a lot of yards all-purpose. By the end,
well, yeah,
by the end of this game.
He's
exactly.
returning kicks, too. He's doing it all for them. And we said it at the top of the show. I mean, anytime you put the ball in his hands, it could go the distance. That was the prime example right there.
That was the prime example, and they really haven't even gotten T.J. Jones. T.J. Jones is a weapon. Like we talked about, he had a 91-yard kickoff return last week, so you know he's fast. They have some weapons on Aquinas' offense.
Aquinas set to kick off here. Joe's ready to try to get some points on the board. A pooch kick, just fielded at the 30 and upended and dropped there at the 38-yard line, and injured on the play is the up man, Keon Howard.
That's a great tackle.
He's up on his feet, but his leg is hurting there.
Yeah, his leg is definitely hurting. As you can see, Karan Robinson, feed me, feed me, feed me. Keep giving me the ball. I'm going to keep making plays for us. And I'm sure they're going to keep on feeding him until St. Joe's can stop him. Just give that man the ball.
Yeah, I think he's going to take a seat, not do much on defense. He's doing enough on offense right now. 8 carries, 148 yards, and that touchdown that you just saw there. Casey Kelly going to try to bring this Joe's offense back. Pitches it to the left side. It's Fabian Livingston, hit just beyond the line of scrimmage, and he is driven back in a hurry by a host of Aquinas tacklers. They do flow to the ball really well. This is a fast flow defense, Donald.
It is a very fast flow defense. That's why you see them going up the middle and the running back, but that time they decided to pitch it. You know, I wonder if the running back there still has some thoughts in his mind about those fumbles. He didn't look like he wanted to run it too hard there. We'll see how that plays out for him the rest of this game.
Well, now that he's just got that carry under his belt,
right,
you know, maybe he can relax now and get back to his game. 2nd and 8, another inside handoff, and spun down to the ground there was Micah Brown.
I think that's where they need to go. They need to go up the middle of the field. You can continue to run your fakes out by, you know, the quarterbacks and the running backs, but get that ball up the middle of the field because that's what's been working for you all night.
3rd and 4 now for Joe's. They've got to keep this drive going here with 2:33 and counting left in the half. 2 receivers to the right. And up the middle again. This time Fabian Livingston spinning away from a tackle. 1st down yardage and more as he's into Aquinas territory.
That's what I'm talking about. You continue to give that ball up the middle of the field. Fabian, good job, Fabian Livingston right there. Good run by him. We'll see if they can continue to feed him and see if he'll break one off up the middle of the field.
So a 1st and 10 at the Aquinas 42. Joe's breaks the huddle quickly. Quick handoff here as they're going to their hurry up now. Micah Brown up the middle. And a pickup there of 7 down to the 35. Clock is ticking. 1:57 and counting. 2nd and 3 now here for Joe's.
You got to give it to the St. Joe's coaching staff. They are not panicking at all. They want to continue to, and we know Casey Kelly can throw, but they're running the ball up the middle of the field.
We got a timeout on the field here. I think that might have been an equipment timeout by the officials as one of the players' helmets had to get restrapped. Now we're ready to go. 2nd and 3 for Joe's. 2 receivers to the right, 2 backs in the backfield. Fakes the inside handoff. Kelly tried to get to the edge, and hauling him down there was Joe DeBonis, the defensive end. Good contain on the outside there.
You talk about assignment football. He was assigned to Casey Kelly on that play. He did a good job and a great open field tackle by Joe DeBonis.
DeBonis is the sophomore. Older brother Dan is the senior. He plays left defensive end on the other side of the formation. 3rd and 4, inside handoff. 1st down and more for Micah Brown, still churning his legs down to the 24-yard line.
The one thing that is working is the inside handoff. Every time they go up the middle, they are able to pick up positive yardage. Feed that ball up the middle of this Aquinas defense.
Timeout taken there by Joe's with 56 seconds left in the half. It's going to be a 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line for Joe's. We'd like to welcome everybody who are watching our live stream on onebuffalo.com. So you can catch the game there. Tell your friends who are outside the MSG viewing area.
You know, this St. Joe's offense, the run game up the middle of the field is working.
Out St. Joe's. Put 5-6 on the clock, please. 56.
So for some reason, 5 seconds were taken off the clock there. Let's take a look at the St. Joe's coaches file. Derek Landry, now in his 2nd year with the St. Joe's program, 6-7 record as a head coach, 3rd year at the school, and had an NFL career.
By the way, yeah, he's played in some big games. Still young, can relate to these kids, and I'm sure he on the sideline has to make sure he is talking to them, making sure that they don't get down, because you still have a lot of game left, and you can make a comeback on this little Irish team.
I think if that's my head coach and he's telling me to do something,
right.
I'm doing it.
That's right.
That is a big fella.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Let's see if they go back up the middle of the field here. They have them spread out. Let's see if they go up the middle.
Yeah, they're going 4 wides here. Kelly's back to pass. Is he going to take a shot at the end zone? Down the middle, Micah Brown, touchdown!
That's what they kept it up the middle. It was just throwing the ball. Micah Brown is a playmaker for St. Joe's. Great throw by Casey Kelly right there. Great throw. Remind you of his brother, Chad. That was a great play, great throw, great catch, and run, making sure he gets it in. Touchdown.
Oh, that was an impressive play there. And I got to say, Micah Brown is showing the full game. It is on display on offense here. Running tough between the tackles. Now runs a nice route there. I mean, it wasn't bad coverage on that play.
Right.
Kelly had to put it in a spot. Good ball location, by Casey there. And Brown does the rest.
Here's this formation again. See if they shift and what they want to do.
And Brown's the chief ball handler here. Converted on the last 2-point conversion. It's the handoff again to the up man as Keon Howard gets into the end zone. That's how they converted their first 2-point conversion. It works again.
Number 40, Keon Howard, kind of reminds me of a Buffalo Bills running back / fullback, Mike Tolbert. Nobody wanted to tackle him there, and he did a good job of getting in the end zone.
And I'll tell you, these 2-point conversions are really helping Joe's out because now they're just down 11. So just a few possessions ago, this team's staring a 21-point deficit in the face. They've pretty much cut it in half now. They trail 35-24 with 49 seconds left in this first half.
And Micah Brown, the Swiss Army knife, is making plays for them, but I'm telling you, that was a very good pass by Casey Kelly on the post route. Micah Brown jumps over somebody right at the goal line and makes sure he gets into the end zone.
So we'll see what Aquinas can do on offense. Do they have another big play in them to score quickly before the half?
Yeah, that would be.
So we take a look at Micah Brown there, just a sophomore, 5'10", 165. He's going to be making plays for a couple more years here for the Marauders.
You talk about confidence. You making plays like that in this stadium? Man, going to be a bright future for that kid, Micah Brown.
So Kelly's going to kick this one off. Be interesting to see the approach here. They've been trying to pooch Maybe we see a squib here with under a minute. Nope, pop up again on a short kick, but it's going to go out of bounds. Kelly's going to have to re-kick at the 35.
Yeah, they do not want to kick it deep to Karan Robinson or T.J. Jones. Those guys are weapons, and when you have weapons back deep, sometimes this is what you see when you're trying not to kick the ball deep.
Ball kicked out of bounds. Ball will be placed at the 36-yard line.
So they're going to take the ball here at the 36. Aquinas is happy with that field position.
Did they kneel on it here? I think they kneel on it here.
Do you? It's an 11-point game. Joe's won the toss, elected to receive.
True.
So Aquinas will get the ball at the start of the second half, but with their big playability.
True.
I mean, they go into this spread look again where Robinson got the handoff and went the distance. Are they going to run the same play? Let's see. Nope, back to pass, over the middle, incomplete, as clock is back in the game at quarterback for Aquinas.
They tried to set something up in the middle of the field there, and he was a little bit high over the middle. That's one thing he doesn't want to do. You don't want to be high. You definitely do not want to turn the ball over. When you throw the ball high over the middle, you can have those turnovers, and that's not what they want to do right now.
See pressure there coming from Frank Sclafani as he hurried that throw because nobody was in the vicinity of the football. You wonder if that ball got there a little too early. 2nd and 10 for Aquinas. Clock from the shotgun, under pressure again. Hauled down for the sack. And in there to take him down was 59, Andrew Miller, the senior.
You can feel some momentum. You can feel the bonding of that St. Joe's team as they are starting to make plays. They do not feel like they are out of this game. Like you said, down 11 points going into the half. They have to be happy with that. They have to be impressed that they were able to stay in this game, and you can feel it.
Good pursuit there by Miller as he wraps him up around the waist, and he doesn't let go, and help soon arrives after that.
That was a good job of getting his hands on the quarterback and making sure that he got him to the ground. Sometimes your quarterback right there might want to throw that one away.
Riley Wood was the second man on the scene there on the sack.
40 seconds on the clock. 40 seconds.
So long down and distance here, and with 40 seconds on the clock, is now the time to kneel down, Donald.
I think so. 3rd and 24. I think you might want to kneel down here and just take it on into the locker room. Talk to your team. Aquinas.
St. Joe's has used all their timeouts.
So St. Joe's can't even stop the clock here. If Aquinas does take a knee.
Doesn't look like it.
Aquinas going 3 wide here. The lone setback is Robinson. He's going to take the handoff. Jukes one defender, gets away from another. Stiff arms a third, and is taken down for no gain.
Well, I tell you, if you're not going to kneel on it, that's the person you give the ball to.
Well, he killed 10 seconds just running around there. He didn't get anywhere, but killed 10 seconds off the clock.
He's either going to kill 10 seconds or he's going to take one the distance. So that is the person you want to give it to.
And that's probably going to do it for the half, as there's 10 seconds counting down, and both teams are going to head to the locker room. Well, this has been an entertaining first half, to say the least, Donald.
Yeah.
We told you this could be a high-scoring game. We're at halftime, and we've got 59 points on the board.
Man, we'll see if they can continue to score at this pace. If so, we're looking at a very high-scoring game, and I like to see touchdowns.
I think everybody likes to see touchdowns, so it's a heck of a game here for the debut edition of Monsignor Martin football here on MSG. We will step aside for halftime, where Aquinas leads St. Joe's 35-24. Plenty of football left here on MSG. Back here at New Era Field, where Aquinas leads St. Joe's by a score of 35-24 at the half in a track meet of a game. Earlier this week, St. Joe's head coach Derek Landry joined Donald Jones and John Murphy on The John Murphy Show, which airs here during the week on MSG, and he talked about his playing career. Let's listen in now to that conversation.
You played in the league. You're a former draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars and played, what, 6-7 years in the NFL, right?
7, yeah. I was fortunate enough to get 7.
Tell us about that experience and, what that was like playing in the league.
It was great. I played for 4 different teams, a lot of different coaches through those teams, but met a lot of good guys, had a great time doing it, and I'm happy I was able to get 7 in.
Did you always think coaching was going to be your post-playing career? Is that what you're going to do?
No, I mean, I always wanted to get back into it, give back. I was fortunate enough to have great coaches to teach me, to actually, help me be a better player, not just my own ability doing it. So I knew I had learned a lot of good things that I should share.
Who were some of the best coaches you had, NFL, that, folks might know some names? You mentioned you had Juan Castillo when you were in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Juan was there. I loved him, man. He was a high-energy guy, just wanted you to do well, and he was our coordinator while we were out there defensively. But he's a great guy. Another guy I loved was Jim Washburn. A lot of guys he coached for a lot of years, was recognized probably as one of the better D-line coaches in the league. Just that old-school guy that same type of thing, just wanted you to do well and support your family and succeed in football.
Now, a lot of players, former players, feel like they can just go and coach, but that is not the case. So what makes, how do you transition from being a player to being a coach? What are some of the things that you actually had to learn as you made that transition from being a player to a coach?
Yeah, it depends on, I think, the type of player you are. If you put the time in, study film, watch a lot of different things, and kind of make it in the league from a mental standpoint, the transition's pretty easy because you're doing all those little things that a coach does already to prepare yourself. If you're surviving off just your athletic ability, then, man, you got to get back to the books. You got to study. You got to know everything, because it doesn't matter if it's a kicker or you're starting quarterback. He's going to come to you and ask a question, and you got to have the answer.
Right.
We're with Derek Landry, coach at St. Joe's here in Buffalo, Tonawanda. They're going to play Aquinas of Rochester 7 o'clock here this Friday night at New Era Field. So you spend all this time in the league, Jacksonville, Carolina, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. What brought you to Buffalo to coach high school football in Buffalo?
Yeah, I met my wife out at Notre Dame. She was a heptathlete, was an All-American as well, couple records at Notre Dame and in high school. I think she still holds the national record.
And she's
points.
a local. She's a Buffalo.
Yeah, she's
What's her name?
Alyssa Landry now. Alyssa Hassan.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, when I met her.
He knows everybody.
No, she was a great high school athlete here.
Yeah, she was phenomenal.
Sweet Home, right? Was he Sweet Home High School?
Williamsville South.
South, okay.
Yeah, so now she's photography, does wedding photography locally in town, and we've got 4 kids that terrorize everything.
Wow. You met her at Notre Dame, and she got you to come back here, and the job opens up at St. Joe's. You were there as an assistant 1 year, right, under Coach Gilbert?
Yeah, I had met Denny in the off season, just through mutual friends, and he asked me to come on and help coach, and so I did. We started some weight program out there, and rest is kind of history.
Yeah.
I have one more question about this transition from playing to being a coach, because I actually coached before I came up here and got into the media. Was it hard for you to go back to high school and after playing to go and try to teach these kids that might not be able to do the things that you were able to do, the things that you're used to seeing athletes do at the top level? It was hard for me. I'm like,
sure.
I'm telling you to just move your foot like this. Why can't you move your foot like this? And they couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, professionally, it's you tell a guy to do something and he has to do it, or there'll be somebody else to take his place.
Right.
It's very cutthroat from that standpoint. And so, like you said, the athletic ability is a lot different. So it may take a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month to teach a kid one step.
Yeah.
And then with that, your whole demeanor, your whole attitude towards it has to be a little bit different. You have to be more patient. In the NFL, the coaches, for the most part, there's not a lot of patience, right, top to bottom, whether it's a fan or whether it's a coach, whether it's an owner. So you have to tone yourself back down and realize where you're at, what you're doing, and just, you're doing it for the kids in essence anyway.
So that was St. Joe's head coach Derek Landry on the John Murphy Show. What did you take away from that interview with him this week?
You know, a couple of the things that I wanted to talk to him about, one of the biggest things was, what's it like to transition from being a player in the NFL to a coach at a lower level, high school? He talked about it. I mean, he was always a smart player. He always paid attention to everything. Sometimes players feel like they can go and make that transition easy. He's been able to do that, and he's been able to relate to his players. He's doing a good job here tonight.
You can see Donald and John Murphy on the John Murphy Show Monday to Friday here on MSG from noon to 3 and on WGR Sports Radio 550. We've got to take a break, but we'll be back getting ready for second half action as Aquinas and St. Joe's are in an 11-point battle here, 35-24 here on MSG. Back to New Era Field, Chris Brown, Donald Jones with you at halftime, where Aquinas leads St. Joe's 35-24 in what has been a wild first half of play. We expect much of the same in the second half, but for now, let's take a look back at some of those first half highlights, as Aquinas was the first team to get on the board, and we look at the pass deep down the field. Hockmeyer coming up with it for the touchdown reception, as Aquinas would score first in this game. But St. Joe's would come right back. The sneak by Casey Kelly. They also got a 2-point conversion to take an 8-7 lead in the first quarter. But after that, it was all Aquinas. 21 unanswered points. The sneak by Clock, and then that was followed up by a fumble recovery after Fabian Livingston coughed up the ball. Connor comes back on the fumble return for a second touchdown. And after that, more from Aquinas as Parinello comes in the game, fires a dart to McNair, who bobbles it and pulls it in for a touchdown, and it looked like it might be a runaway for Aquinas. But fortunately for St. Joe's, they have a long, sustained drive, primarily on the ground. Casey Kelly sneaks it in for his second touchdown of the night. But before the half was over, Karan Robinson, the human joystick, went to town. 62 yards, the longest play of the game. He now has 150 yards rushing on the night, and the longest touchdown of the day. But before the half was over, Casey Kelly with the bullet over the middle to Micah Brown, and that's where we stand now. 2-point conversions helping out St. Joe's here in the first half. It's the main reason why they're only down 11.
You know, talking to the head coach earlier this week, he talked about that. He was going to go for 2, you know, because they don't have a true kicker. Casey Kelly can make it, but they were going to go for 2, and it's keeping them in this game.
And you look at this, Donald, is there a way that the St. Joe's defense can stop Karan Robinson? It seems like the first guy in can't wrap him up, and then he's loose and he's getting out in space and causing all kinds of problems.
And that's going to be the biggest thing. They have to make sure that they come up, they make sound tackles. So that's come up with your feet, keep your eyes open, head up. He's going to try to juke you. You know, he's been juking guys left and right. He's hitting all types of Madden plays on them. come up, make sound tackles, and they'll be able to stop them.
Is there a correction for the Aquinas defense for that inside running game that's worked so well for Joe's?
There has to be a correction. They're going to have to do something with the linebackers and the nose tackles up the middle of the field. Those guys have to make sure that they do a good job of eating up the offensive line of St. Joe's. St. Joe's, so that those linebackers can scrape and make tackles on St. Joe's running backs.
You wonder if maybe you bring the safety up into the box and almost have him serve as an inside linebacker with your middle backer, or maybe even bring the middle backer up closer to the line so those guys can't get ahead of steam.
I think that's what they're going to have to do. You have to bring extra guys down in the box to stop that run up the middle of the field.
We'll take a break, but be back with second half action. It's Monsignor Martin football here on MSG. Chris Brown, Donald Jones with you here at New Era Field at halftime. Just about set to begin the third quarter of action between Aquinas and St. Joe's. And there's a look at some of the first half stats, Donald. The rushing yards obviously carrying the day for St. Joe's. I mean, they have 108 yards, and they've kept it on the ground. So, and you look at the total yards for Aquinas, it's heavily favored to the rushing side. Both of these teams have relied on ground games here tonight.
Yeah, and you look at Aquinas with 149 rushing yards. I believe that Karan Robinson has 149 rushing yards. It's all Karan Robinson tonight.
That's right. In every conceivable way.
Yeah.
But we're just about set to begin the second half, and Aquinas will be receiving. St. Joe's got it in the first half after winning the toss. They chose to receive. So now Aquinas will have the ball, and they are up 11. So if they can put a drive together here to start the second half, they put themselves in good position. Somebody's defense, though, just has to get a stop here.
Yeah,
and they can change the course of this game.
That's all they need, somebody's defense to get a stop here. St. Joe's did a good job of scoring before the half, and now they get the ball coming out at halftime. They can bring this game within one score on this drive. I think they're going to, I would imagine that they continue to go up the middle of the field until Aquinas can figure out a way to stop them. Fabian Livingston needs to do a good job of holding on to the ball. Micah Brown is a playmaker for them. Both of those guys are going to go up the middle of the field, including Casey Kelly. He's been running up the middle of the field as well.
Yeah, he tried to get to the edge there late in the first half. It didn't work. It almost seemed like the defensive front for Aquinas was waiting for that.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't waiting for the up-the-middle runs, so maybe that's a new wrinkle that Joe's has not shown on tape, which is why it gave the Aquinas defensive front such fits in the first half. We'll have to see if they can get that adjustment that we talked about and get it corrected.
You know, and St. Joe's and Casey Kelly ran one option play in that last, scoring drive that they had. And Casey Kelly had a big run. They faked it up the middle of the field. Casey Kelly went to run to the outside, and the defensive end and linebacker jumped to the outside. Casey Kelly turned up the middle of the field and cut it all the way back across and picked up a big run. He's going to have to continue to do that for this team. I think they're going to try and shut down the running backs. You might see Casey Kelly run the ball a lot more, and he's a big, thick guy, and they've had trouble really bringing him down. So we'll see if they can bring him down this half.
We got Aquinas set to return. T.J. Jones and Karan Robinson back to return for the Little Irish. We'll see which way Kelly sends it this time. It's a squib kick. They tried an onside, but Little Irish were ready for that. And coming up with the ball there for Aquinas was Fabrizio Donito.
You know, this is the tough thing when you have dangerous weapons back deep that you don't want to kick into. You end up squib kicking or pooch kicking or even kicking the ball out of bounds. Now you give them the ball on the 45-yard line. I mean, they have a very short field right now with weapons that can score. Their defense has to step up big right now.
I think Joe's was hoping to catch Aquinas napping here at the start of the second half, but their hands guys up top were ready. So it's 1st and 10 for the Little Irish here at their own 45. Fake the handoff, rolling out is Clock deep down the sideline and complete to Eric Carter. Fakes out the defender, gives him another shake to the 5. Touchdown, Aquinas!
Man, they fake everybody out on the defensive front. Rolls out to his left, throws it down the field, and a great catch and a couple of great moves as he started to just go back and forth, and a way to get the ball in the end zone.
Well, that is an exclamation point to start the second half here. Good gravy.
Yeah.
That was a one-play touchdown.
One play. I want to see it again. It was a very good play action. I want to see where he came from. I need to see the replay, but he was wide open down there. It had to be a busted coverage. And whoever was supposed to be covering him, they realized it too late.
A 55-yard touchdown pass from John Clock to Eric Carter. And as we said, Aquinas is all about the big play.
Yeah.
They don't have 12, 13 play drives. It's 2, 3, or in this case, 1.
You know, and they actually went with a fake dive up the middle of the field and a great throw rolling out to his left. But with the play action and the play fake, and you've been running the ball so good, the defense, they can't help themselves but to jump up. And when you jump up, next thing you know, you have a guy running behind the defense. Great throw rolling to his left. He throws the ball wide open, Carter down the field, and some great moves to get the ball into the end zone. Good play right there.
Now that technique there, Donald, is the jab step, right? I mean that he used.
Oh yeah. That's the jab step. Definitely the jab step. You keep jabbing back and forth. And the defensive back really couldn't do anything there. You know, he was just trying to do all that he could to slow him down so that people could come and catch Carter from behind. But he was too fast, and he ended up getting in the end zone anyway.
As we saw in that last replay, Clock knew it as soon as he threw it. He knew it was going to land in the right place to a wide-open receiver as Carter's only reception goes 55 yards for the touchdown here tonight. So the kickoff for the Little Irish. It's a bullet line drive down the field. It's fielded there by Brown. He's got to take it from his own 3 and tackled very quickly at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, that's a tough decision to make, and I know you want to make plays for your team. He needed to kind of let that one go.
11:40 left in this third quarter. Aquinas up 42-24 on St. Joe's. You're watching Monsignor Martin football, presented by the Dent Concussion Center on MSG. Chris Brown, Donald Jones with you at New Era Field, where the Little Irish lead the Marauders 42-24. Time now for our VSP sign of the game. VSP Graphics Group, your one-stop sign shop serving the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres. What was that?
I don't know what that was.
Who was that?
Was that a player? I'm not even sure who that was. You never know when you come to a high school.
They get pretty unique at the high school level, I will say that.
You never know what you're going to see.
Inside handoff there on first down to Micah Brown, only a yard on the play, so it's 2nd and 9 as Joes is backed up deep in their own territory once again. They were able to grind out a long drive, in the latter stages of the first half and find the end zone. Can they do it again here? They got to go 90 yards to do it. Kelly under center, drops back, fakes the handoff, gonna look down the field, now tucks it and runs to the outside, but he's wrapped up, squirts away. Is it gonna be a safety? Safety for Aquinas!
Man.
Holy mackerel!
Kelly, it was a play action, and he was standing back there looking for somebody back deep, but somebody came free, and then he tried to run out of there and try to get away from it, and you could see him actually stop as he recognized he was on the goal line. He tried to stay out of there, but he couldn't stay out of the end zone.
And sometimes that's a tough thing that you fight. You want to make a play so bad for your team that you hold on to the ball too long.
Right.
Once he saw that the guy was wrapping him up, it's probably time to just throw it away, even if you have to, although if he takes an intentional grounding there, it might be a safety anyway.
Yeah.
So kind of a tough decision to make. He got away from the first guy, and then look, you can see him trying to tightrope the goal line and stay out of the end zone, but unable to do that as the pressure was on him early. He tried to step outside the pocket and make the play, but he had to tuck and run here. Never had a chance to reset his feet. TJ Jones throws him towards the end zone, and then Dan DeBonis cleans up for Aquinas for the safety.
Dan DeBonis cleaned up for the safety, but he was initially the one that put the pressure on Casey Kelly. He was the first person to get into the backfield. TJ Jones on the other side was the first one to get to Casey Kelly, but Dan DeBonis was like, nope, this is my play. I'm going to finish this out.
So now St. Joe's will have to kick it away following the safety as Casey Kelly will punt this from his 20. And now an 18-point deficit has turned into a 20-point deficit,
right.
And St. Joe's doesn't even have the ball. They got to kick it away now.
This is not how St. Joe's wanted to start this half. They thought they had some momentum going into the half. Now they're going to need a couple of big plays. I don't know if they can continue to run the ball either.
Kick is away down to the far sideline there, and it's going to bound into the hands of Karan Robinson, but instead it goes to number 21, Brian McGee. And that's the first time he's got his hands on the ball. The sophomore holds on to it and sets up the Aquinas offense at the 36-yard line.
Karan Robinson might want to call off McGee. He might have tried to call him off right there. And, hey, I got it. McGee was like, nah, I'm going to take this ball and try to score myself and get on the scoreboard myself. But a good job by St. Joe's to get down the field and make the tackle.
The officials mark it at the 37, so it'll be 1st and 10 there. As clock comes back in for his second series of the half. His first series lasted all of one play. See what Aquinas has up their sleeve this time. I formation, clock under center. Fakes the handoff, play action, going deep again. Pass is a little underthrown and intercepted.
Now,
picked off there by McCarley.
That is a good play by McCarley. One-on-one down the field on an island. And he goes up and jumps with the wide receiver and comes down with the ball. But you have to give credit to the defensive front of St. Joe's as they put pressure on Klotch and forced him to throw that ball up like that. I'd have to believe that if he didn't have that pressure, he would have been able to step into that throw and throw it a little bit further out there.
McNair was the intended receiver, and he was behind the defense, but he had to slow down because the pass was underthrown. Wobbler there, and good job by McCarley, high point in that ball for the pick. Not much doing, though, for the St. Joe's offense as Kelly is taken down for the sack.
That was a good play in the backfield. They have to get something going here. I don't know how much longer they can continue to run the ball. That was Joe
DeBonis
again on the sack. They have to make sure that they can block him. They're going to have to throw the ball here soon because you have to score points down 20.
Grabbed him by his shirt tail and never let go. 2nd and long now for Joes. Going to try the inside handoff. Good yardage there. Fighting for extra yardage, squirting away from a tackle, and getting a first down is Micah Brown. Wow.
Brown, strong run up the middle of the field. That's the one thing that's been working for them all night. When you go up the middle of the field, it's been working. I don't know what it is about that Aquinas defense. They are finding something up the middle. We'll see if they can continue to do that.
Brown just keeps churning his legs. They never stop driving. It's like 2 pistons there in an engine. He just refuses to go down. He broke 3 tackles on that
Yeah, he
play.
broke a couple tackles.
Casey Kelly on the keeper, cuts it up inside and gets 5 or 6 on that first down carry as they're close to midfield now. Joe's going to a hurry up here, no huddle. Handoff inside, but going nowhere is Micah Brown. And there on the tackle once again is Dan DeBonis. I'll tell you, between Dan DeBonis at the left end and Joe DeBonis at the right end, there's not much getting outside on this Aquinas defense.
Definitely no getting outside on those guys. It seems like if you want to run the ball, you have to do it up the middle of the field, and then you have to play action and go down the field, but they have to continue to run the ball up the middle of the field if they want to get anything going.
So a 3rd and 6 situation here for St. Joe's. Bad snap, ball loose in the backfield. Brown pounces on it, but it's going to be a loss of 5. And Joe's is probably going to have to punt here. It's 4th and long, or are they going to go for it?
It looks like they're bringing on the punt team.
Yeah, they got to kick it here.
Yeah, you can't try to go for it on your side of.
Got more than a quarter and a half of action left. You'll get a few more possessions to try to climb back into the game. Try to reset the field position.
I wonder if that ball ever got to Casey Kelly's hands.
Looked like it skidded right between his legs. It was a snap that never got off the ground, it seemed. Punt is away. It bounces. Favorable bounce for Joe's as they're going to get another 10 or 15 yards on this bounce. So a good decision to punt here as Aquinas will have to start at their own 20-yard line.
St. Joe's has to do a good job here. They need a big, big stand, and they need to make sure that they don't have a big play against them.
We've got a penalty on the kicking team here. We'll go down to Paul Gagliardi, the head official, for the call here in just a moment. As the players are waiting to see whether we're going to re-kick. Looks like we are going to re-kick. Let's go downstairs.
Legal substitution. Kicking team. Repeat 4th down.
And that is a shame for St. Joe's because they got a great bounce on that punt. They got an extra 15, 20 yards on the roll there, and they would have had him backed up at their own 20.
Anybody in special teams will tell you, anytime you have to re-kick, it's tough. You can see a return right here.
And a good attempt at an acting job there on the last punt by Casey Kelly when T.J. Jones came in and almost blocked it. He took a dive, but didn't draw a flag, but we do have flags here. I think we had a false start on the kicking team.
Dead ball, third, offense. Repeat 4th down.
So it is not going right here on the last 2 plays for Joe's. Instead of having the Little Irish with an 80-yard field to drive, they're backed up into their own territory now at their own 34.
And they're tired from running down the field already.
There's the snap. Kick is away, and they kicked it away from Robinson, so that was good. And it sits right along the sideline before it's downed at the 31. So an 11-yard difference when it all comes out in the wash for Joe's. 11-yard better field position for Aquinas. We'll take a break and step aside. 44-24 in favor of the Little Irish. You're watching Monsignor Martin football on MSG. Chris Brown, Donald Jones, back with you at New Era Field, where Aquinas has the ball and a 20-point lead, up 44-24 with 7:37 left in the third quarter in what has been a high-scoring affair. Aquinas, though, has had the better of it as they've got the only points scored here in the second half. A touchdown on a one-play drive, an extra point, and a safety. 1st and 10 for Aquinas at their own 31. Hand off to Robinson, and there he goes. Another one-play drive for Aquinas. Everybody else, you're not catching him. Touchdown, Aquinas.
Wow, this kid is amazing. Right there, he put on the speed burst. Put on the speed burst. He ran through an arm tackle coming off to the left side, put on the speed burst, and took it all the way to the house. The crazy thing is you can see him actually separate from the defensive guys trying to chase him.
I don't even feel like he's running at top speed. Like he doesn't even have it in 4th gear.
I don't think he has to tonight. He hasn't had to really take off. The one time running up the right sideline over here, somebody was able to catch him, but that time nobody was going to catch him as he took that one all the way to the crib.
69-yard touchdown run for Robinson. Another one-play scoring drive for Aquinas. Extra point is up and good. And this is starting to become a runaway. 51-24. Aquinas out in front comfortably. 7:25 left in the third quarter. That's second touchdown of the night for Robinson, who now has 217 rushing yards on 10 carries.
On 10 carries and 2 touchdowns. He is having the night of his life here at New Era Field. We talked earlier about the game feeling different, but man, this kid is having the game of his life.
And I don't know that you have an answer for him.
I don't think so.
You could play a 60 front, and it might, might not make a difference.
And over on the left side of their offensive line, they did a great job of sealing off the St. Joe's defense. And then there was 2 missed tackles over on this left side, and he took it all the way to the house after that.
And the thing is, when you know you're playing against a faster player, you feel you have to get to the spot faster. And what that actually does is it makes it easier for the ball carrier because he just sticks his foot in the ground and you go flying past him. These guys have got to break down and make a sound, fundamental tackle because he's shown tonight he can run through arm tackles.
He's shown he can really do everything, so they have to do a better job.
Here's the return for Joe's. Micah Brown weaving his way through traffic and getting out to the 36-yard line.
Let's see if this St. Joe's offense continues to run the ball up the middle of the field. I know that's been working for them, but you're down a big margin right here in the third quarter with 7:19 left to go in the third quarter. You need to put the ball in the air.
Yes, you got to score points, and then your defense has to get a stop.
Exactly.
I mean, they can't stop Aquinas right now. They're just rolling up points. Even the defense is getting points for Aquinas on the safety the last time. Casey Kelly under center here. Inside handoff. Not surprising. It's what's worked for Joe's tonight. 2 yards on that play as Micah Brown is getting an awful lot of work. And he's rolling up yards in a much harder fashion than Karan Robinson tonight.
He is. And he's doing a good job. He's earning everything. I mean, you know, Karan Robinson he's just having a great game. Micah Brown is having to earn every single one of his yards, but he's doing a good job.
All I know is somebody at Aquinas better get that kid on the track team. Here's another handoff. Nice play. Micah Brown again, first down yardage and more. And you got to tip your hat to Micah Brown tonight. He is just grinding it out, making plays for his team. I mean, this team's down 27 points, but there's no quit in this Joe's squad.
No, there's definitely no quit in this Joe's squad, especially in this Joe's offense. They're going to continue to move this ball. The thing is, when you have long drives, it eats at the clock.
That's right. Another inside handoff, only a yard or two on that play.
T.J. Jones right there was not going to have any of that in the middle. A dangerous linebacker / running back kick returner. He wasn't having it there.
Joe's goes no huddle, but they jump off sides. They're trying to catch them with some tempo here, and They ended up catching themselves, unfortunately.
Dead ball foul, false start. Offense. Repeat second down.
And that's what happens sometimes. You get anxious. You know, you're moving the ball. You know you're trying to use some tempo. You know you're trying to work the clock. And sometimes you just get anxious and you can't help yourself but to jump.
So we're going to have second and long here. 5:49 and counting in this third quarter. Joe's is down 51-24 to Aquinas. They need points, and they need them in a hurry. Here's the snap. Another inside handoff. Bouncing off a tackler there is Brown again.
Another tough run.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Another tough run.
5 yards on that play. As you see Coach Landry on the sidelines talking to his coordinator there. Kelly comes to get the signal and heads back to the huddle.
I wonder when they put this game into Casey Kelly's arm.
You're going to have to start throwing here sooner rather than later. I mean, these inside handoffs are nice, but you're going to have to mix some passing in there. I mean, he looked good on his touchdown throw, I'll say that. Oh, ball on the carpet, scooped up by Aquinas. It's another turnover, heading down the left sideline. He's going to take it the distance. Trey Brown, touchdown!
Another big play. He put the ball on the ground, trying to run the ball up the middle of the field. Big plays and big mistakes have killed St. Joe's tonight, and you got another mistake, another turnover that proves to be costly is another big touchdown return for Aquinas.
And Micah Brown, who fumbled that football, is unfortunately down on the field right now, right at midfield where he fumbled the football. Being tended to by a couple of athletic trainers. That is the third turnover via the fumble by St. Joe's tonight. And when you're already down by a wide margin, that's just going to be absolutely crippling.
That is crippling, and that is the second fumble recovery for a touchdown.
That's right. Earlier in the game, Marlette Connor had a fumble return for a touchdown. It didn't go quite as far as this one did.
And
as you see, Brown fumbled the football there and then tried to grab it but was pulled away from it by a defender. Couldn't scoop it back up, and Trey Brown was Johnny on the spot. And he goes 52 yards.
He's DeBonis kids. Joe DeBonis right there on the tackle. He's the one that forced that ball out. And Trey Brown jumped on top of it and goes 52 yards all the way up the left sideline for a touchdown. This defense, they are not playing around. They are forcing turnovers. The offense, all types of big plays, and the big plays and the big turnovers have killed St. Joe's tonight.
Well, you think about it, Donald. You look at this lead. It's 57-24. The defense for Aquinas has 16 points. They've scored 16 points, a safety and 2 touchdowns on fumble returns.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's what, you know, coaches will tell you all the time. Anytime you have turnovers and you lose the turnover margin, you lose the turnover battle, you will probably end up losing the game, and they are losing bad right now.
News 4 Sports is your home for high school football. Get more local highlights and coverage from Western New York's news leader. Well, the good news is Micah Brown is up on his feet and walking to the sideline under his own power. Looks a little shaken up, though, as he is walking carefully and gingerly to the sideline. You hope that he can get back in the game. He's been the workhorse for this ground game for Joe's. You wonder who they turn to when they get the ball back.
Yeah, that's the question. I guess they'd have to turn back to Fabian Livingston, the one who actually has a couple of fumbles in this game. If Micah Brown can't come back in, I think it's at some point here, though, you have to put the ball into Casey Kelly's hands, and he has to try and do everything that he can to bring this team back with his arm.
Extra point attempt here for Hockmeyer and Aquinas now as they look to put another point on the board. Kick is up and good. 4:50 left. And Aquinas up 58-24 as they are running away with this one. There's lots of time left, but Joe's has a mountain to climb right now.
Yeah, they really have a mountain to climb. And I know they like to run the ball. I think they need to put this ball in the air. Casey Kelly has the arm. We've seen him make the play, the one throw down here. A great throw by Casey Kelly. I think we're going to have to see a lot more of that. I still don't think that this St. Joe's team is going to quit. The coaching staff is over there talking to them on the sideline right now, trying to get these guys up in any way possible. These guys have weapons on their team. Casey Kelly is the main weapon, and they need to put the ball in his hands.
Well, you said earlier in the broadcast, you know, this is an offense for Joe's that goes back and forth between playing some veer and playing some spread. It's time to go to the spread now.
It's time to go to the spread and put the ball in the air.
Especially with Brown out of the lineup for who knows how long. You know, you got the receiver, McCarley, who can make plays. It'll be interesting to see who they turn to. You got Trey Bowling outside, McCarley, Key Michael Clark. We haven't seen much of him.
Right.
Garrett House is another guy who plays in the slot. They're going to have to go to the air here and get yardage in big chunks. They can't grind it out anymore. They're down too big a margin here to try to come back in what amounts to about 16 minutes of game clock.
Yeah, they're going to have to, you know, and the key thing is when you put the ball in the air, it stops the clock if you don't complete passes, you know, so.
Pop up on the kickoff. Live ball. Joe's hops on it.
That was almost another costly turnover.
Yeah, it's a live ball.
And sometimes you get those linemen and those tight ends and fullbacks up there, and they don't know what to do, who to jump on the ball, and, you know, they're not used to actually falling on that ball.
The guy that did fall on the ball was Frank Sclafani, and he's today's instigator's character, as we pick one every week in honor of the Instigators Show, which airs on MSG here Tuesdays to Fridays during the football season from 10 to noon. Andrew Peters, Craig Rivet. And the story there is Sclafani works at his parents' restaurant, Frank's Sunny Italy, on Delaware Avenue there in Kenmore. And his head coach, Derek Landry, calls him a character. And he's got all kinds of stories from the restaurant all the time. He's working at the restaurant, coming to practice, going back and forth all the time. And said his dad laid into him one time when he spilled a bowl of meatballs. And said it was not a good scene. Frank was all too happy to come to practice and get out of the restaurant in a hurry.
With that, I'm out of here. I need to go to practice.
2nd and 5 here for Joe's as they run up the middle again. This time Livingston with the carry, 1st down yardage and more. Nice run for him as he gets out to the 46-yard line.
You know, these runs for Fabian Livingston are good for him. It doesn't matter what the score is. Confidence for him after he fumbled earlier twice in this game. These are just good runs for him. Good, strong runs up the middle of the field.
They're going to have to lean on Livingston here a little bit until Micah Brown. We'll have to check on him, see if he's going to re-enter the game or if he's done for the night. Inside handoff goes to the big man, Keon Howard, rumbling through for a 1st down.
Keon Howard is like, poof, poof, poof.
You are right. He looks like Mike Tolbert carrying the ball.
He does.
He is tough. You can't get your arms around that guy.
Yeah, he is a big guy running the ball. And those linebackers, those safeties do not want to come up and hit him. You can see they are not trying to wrap.
Yeah, they're going low.
Exactly.
Go low. Look at the helmet there.
Exactly.
Hockmeyer came up and made the play, but he almost had his helmet knocked off.
That's a big difference from what they've been trying to tackle all night. And that's what you have when you have a change-up back like he is. Like, you know, Micah Brown is a shifty kid. Fabian Livingston the same way. Now you bring in
Keon Howard,
and he is a bulldozer.
1st and 10. Inside handoff to Livingston. It's about 3 or 4 there. Fell forward. Looks like he's going to have 4 yards on that carry.
They are sticking with the run today. They do not want to put the ball in the air. I don't know if they don't have confidence in that line blocking the defensive front of Aquinas. They're sticking with the run.
Micah Brown still on the sidelines being checked out by the athletic trainers. Another inside handoff. And another fumble. Keon Howard puts the ball on the carpet. Aquinas says they have it. And they do. Ball security is just burying the Marauders tonight.
I think he's still down. Yeah, he's getting up over there. There are going to be a lot of ball security drills in practice this week for St. Joe's. Those running backs are going to just do ball security drills all day. They might not even get in the team portion.
I think it was Casey Hockmeyer who came up with the fumble recovery. I mean, that is fundamental football, and that drives head coaches crazy. So here's Howard coming through the hole, and bang, it looks like it just got punched out.
Yeah.
The crazy thing was it looked like he had two hands on it.
Oh, no. He had one hand on it. He went to make a stiff arm, and somebody else popped that ball loose. It popped out like popcorn.
So the safety Hockmeyer with the fumble recovery, and Aquinas is coming the other way and almost getting away. And running the distance on another long play was Ruben Torres, the fullback, finally getting some action.
Man, finally getting – you got to get fullback some action. You know, they do a lot of the tough work in the middle. You got to get him the ball. He was like, listen, I'm going to get me something tonight. And he almost got him something. A good run, but he almost broke that one all the way.
Parinello back in at quarterback for Aquinas as they have a 1st and 10 at their own 48. High formation here for the Little Irish. Two receivers to the left. Handoff inside. Juking and jiving and off to the races again. Karan Robinson, he's turning the new era field into flames. Touchdown, Aquinas.
Flames. You can look, all St. Joe's defense can see are the flames coming off of his cleats, because that is all they see is his backside running away from them. He is running through arm tackles, juking, shaking, spinning, everything today. They cannot stop this kid.
There is no answer. 52-yard touchdown run for Robinson. There is a flag on the play. So we'll let the officials sort this one out, see if this is coming back or if the touchdown will stand. And it looks that way. Let's go down to Paul Gagliardi.
Personal foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Player ejected. Touchdown.
So we have to believe, I would think the player ejection would have to be on St. Joe's, but we'll wait and see. I don't know who was ejected. They haven't identified a player yet. But the touchdown stands, so the 52-yard scamper by Robinson will hold up. That's his 3rd touchdown of the game. And those 52 yards is taking him up over 260 for the night.
The penalty accepted will be on the kickoff.
So Hockmeyer on to kick the extra point as Aquinas has eclipsed the 60-point barrier.
You know, Karan Robinson has been like a human cheat code tonight. I don't know if games still have cheat codes. You can still do that, but
this game has one.
Yeah, right? He is a human cheat code tonight. They cannot get this kid down. He knows he's going to be all over TV. He's going to be all 11 carries.
269 yards. I mean, he lets the offense rest.
Exactly.
What is that? The 3rd one-play drive, or that was a 2-play drive. Sorry, Ruben Torres had a carry before that.
Right.
2-play drive there, 1-play drive before that, and a 1-play drive before that. He wasn't responsible for the score, but the offensive linemen are like, "Hey, thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna go sit on the bench now and watch the defense do some work."
Exactly. There were about 3 missed tackles there. 3 missed tackles, and then nobody else touched him. And you see the speed. Once he gets in the open field, nobody is going to catch him.
Good downfield block there by Jake Schwab to keep the last defender that had a shot at him away from him.
And that's the biggest thing. Wide receivers are, when you see running backs get tackled down the field, it's because a wide receiver did not get his block. That was a good job by Schwab to get his block.
So Joe's at this point, I mean, you just got to try to chip away, I guess, but They got to go to the spread, throw the ball around, hope they can put a couple of quick drives together, much like Aquinas has done. Aquinas gets the ball, 1-2 plays, they're in the end zone.
It's been big plays and fumble recoveries for touchdown.
The big play element has just been a complete dagger for St. Joe's.
15-yard penalty is assessed on the kickoff.
So the 15-yard penalty was against St. Joe's. We did not get the player identified as to who was ejected, but whatever it wasn't good.
It wasn't good for you to get ejected
after one.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, not good. But you can understand why there's some frustration on the part of Joe's with the way this game has turned here in the second half. I mean, they have been outscored 30-0 in the second half.
In the second half. Definitely not how they wanted this thing to go. And like you said, all they can do now is just try to chip away at this thing. I think that at some point soon here, you have to spread this team out and go put that ball in the air.
Yeah, it's time to throw. I mean, I don't see any other way around it. You got to hope you can make a big play. Maybe a defender falls down after a reception. You can take it the distance, get a quick 7 on the board, or 8 in the case of Joe's as they go for 2 every time. You got to score fast and often.
Let's see if they spread them out here. Even if you spread them out, as it looks like they're coming out in 5 wide here. This is what I expected to see.
See how the protection holds up for Kelly. He's in the shotgun. Livingston drops into the backfield, and it's a keeper for Kelly, and he's going to run. He's off to the races. 45-50 to the 45-40, 35-30, 25, lowers the shoulder, and down to the 15-yard line. Someone's not done playing tonight.
He is not done playing tonight. He lowered
the
boom on that run. He was like, look, I am going to lower my shoulder, and there's nothing you can do about this. You can go ahead and take this. This was a good fake. Good blocks right there. Good pulling guard coming around there. And Casey Kelly did the rest of that, taking it all the way down the right sideline.
And it doesn't look like he's moving fast, but he stiff arms that tackler, and here comes the shoulder. Look out!
That is how you lower your shoulder. They don't expect quarterbacks to do that.
Well, when you're 220, you can.
Exactly. You don't expect the quarterback. DBs are like, let me just push him out of bounds, and he lowers the boom on you.
1st and 10 from the 17. Kelly's going to try to take it outside. Goes with the high step Walter Payton move and gets to the far sideline for a pickup of 6 or 7.
Well, it's the Casey Kelly show now. Throwing and running. That's the only way that they can get back into this game.
So 2nd and 3 at the 10. And St. Joe's doesn't want to waste much time here. We got under a minute left here in the 3rd quarter. And Joe's is down 65-24, threatening to score here. You got to believe they want to just put it in the end zone now.
Yeah.
Get this touchdown done before the quarter is out. Spread formation again. Livingston in the backfield with Kelly in the shotgun. Another keeper for Kelly. Right up the middle. Dragging tacklers down to the 1-yard line, just shy of the goal line.
Man, it is tough to bring down Casey Kelly running the ball.
He's just dragging people.
He is dragging people. They can't bring him down. They're doing a good job, though, of spreading this team out so that he can, have his choice of if he wants to throw or if he wants to run or if this is a designed quarterback draw. But whatever it is, they're spreading them out. He's running right up the middle, and they can't bring him down.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess Kelly sneak.
I would think so. From the 1.
Before they can run another play, the 3rd quarter has come to an end. It'll be 1st and goal for Joe's at the 1-yard line when we come back. Aquinas up 65-24. You're watching Monsignor Martin football here on MSG. Back at New Era Field, Chris Brown, Donald Jones. A reminder for you Monsignor Martin fans, a big rivalry matchup next Friday here at New Era Field, 7 o'clock. It's St. Joe's against Canisius, the biggest rivalry probably in the Monsignor Martin Association and the most vocal student bodies in Western New York. First and goal, and Casey Kelly fires a bullet for a touchdown. As pulling it in there
Nicholas Julian
was Nick Julian, the tight end.
Yeah, that was a good play. It was a busted coverage. Nick Julian came wide open there. Not sure what happened on the back end of that defense, but a good throw by Casey Kelly. And this is the Casey Kelly show now. They have to put the ball in the air if they want to even think about getting back into this game.
So, as has been the case tonight, Joes will go for 2. They are down 5 touchdowns. Turnovers, an absolute killer for Joes. Kelly on the sneak and just barrels his way into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. That'll make the score 65-32 in favor of the Little Irish as we are just 4 seconds into the fourth quarter.
Aquinas here. Now, St. Joe's has to do a good job of trying to do something to shut down this offense.
Get a stop.
Get a stop, and they need
Or
to
a
get
turnover.
a lot of stops. Yeah,
Turnover being
that's
even
really
better.
what they need. They need to create a turnover, and they need to create it fast. You think you see an onside kick here?
It's possible as we take a look back at the touchdown pass, a bullet to Nick Julian, the tight end there, completely uncovered.
They went with the motion, and they were following the motion, and it looks like they got a little bit confused, either confused or they ran into each other, and he came wide open.
Well, I saw where 3 heads turned, looking outside at the guy in motion.
Exactly.
Everybody forgot about the tight end coming underneath.
See if we get an onside kick here.
They tried it at the start of the second half, did St. Joe's, and they could not catch Aquinas sleeping. Their hands team was ready, and they fell on it at the 45, their own 45-yard line, and then the next play, John Clark threw a bomb down the left sideline for a touchdown. Eric Carter was the recipient of that pass.
Aquinas looks like they have their hands team out. As you see, T.J. Jones, Conrad Robinson, all of these guys up front.
Popped up high, fielded there at the 10, and forced out of bounds. Is T.J. Scanlon.
Thought we would see a onside kick there, but they elected to kick the ball deep. Their defense has to do something here. You can't give up the big play. You need to create a turnover and get the ball back into the hands of Casey Kelly so that he can do something. Run it with his legs, throw the ball, doesn't matter. This game is on Casey Kelly's shoulders for this St. Joe's team.
And Karan Robinson was going back out on the field. Now he's getting pulled off the field, and he's like, hey, what's going on?
He wants to keep going.
It's a 33-point lead, Karan. I think Coach is going to let some other guys have a shot at it. Parinello back in at quarterback for Aquinas. I formation here. Taking the handoff and getting swarmed under behind the line of scrimmage is Brian McGee, the sophomore running back.
They played across the line of scrimmage on that one. St. Joe's defensive line played on the other side of the ball, and they're going to have to continue to do that, but they need to get that ball out. Get the ball out.
Sclafani on the tackle for loss. So it's 2nd and 12 now for Aquinas.
I have to believe Aquinas is just going to run the ball, take their time, and try to just run the clock down.
Two receivers split left, I formation again. Parinello under center. And Joe's stacking the line of scrimmage, expecting the run. McGee tries to bounce it outside, but nothing there as McCarley corrals him, the cornerback.
Now that was a good one-on-one tackle by McCarley right there. He came up. Cornerbacks have to tackle, and they'll tell you, a lot of cornerbacks will tell you, I get paid to cover and catch interceptions. Well, guess what? Sometimes you got to come up and make tackles on running backs. That was a good play McCarley had the interception earlier in the game as well.
That's right. Clock running here, 10:30 and counting, with Aquinas in control of this one, 65-32. It is a 3rd and 11, however, so if Joes can finally get a stop here and force a punt and get the ball back. Handoff, McGee again, spinning, twisting, but only 4 yards on that play. And the punt team coming on for the Little Irish.
Let's see if they can quick score. They need a big play, quick score right here.
Spread
Possibly
them out
a return.
and start throwing.
Yeah, exactly.
Clock continuing to run here, 9:50, as Aquinas will punt this one away. Zach Johnson going to punt this. High snap, pulls it down, gets the kick away. Not a bad kick at all. Out past midfield and down just inside Aquinas territory.
I wasn't sure what McCarley was about to do there. He was coming up like he wanted to catch that ball. They ended up getting the favorable bounce. I thought he was going to try and catch that ball. It could have proved to be a costly mistake for St. Joe's.
It's not the first time we've seen indecision on a return.
As that ball was coming, he had people all in his face, and he wanted to come up and make that one, but he just couldn't get to the ball.
Well, part of the reason he couldn't get to the ball was Joe DeBonis was smacking him. Spread formation here as they go 5 wide. Kelly back to pass, rearing back, airing it out deep down the field and overthrowing his intended receiver on the play, Fabian Livingston. We get a late flag in there. We'll have to see what that's about.
In high school, you're allowed to touch a little bit down the field until that ball goes in the air. So we have to see what this call is if it's a pass interference.
Yeah, mark this off right away. So 15 yards, pass interference.
Defensive pass interference. First down.
So 15 yards and a first down for Joes. That'll help. And I'll tell you, if they want to take a shot at the end zone, Kelly can reach it from here.
Yeah, he can. Very strong arm.
In the shotgun, back to pass, looking deep, looking to the end zone, overthrows his intended receiver, McCarley. Kind of got hung up there in coverage with Ben Viska, the corner.
They definitely got hung up in coverage. He went inside on that one, which typically wide receivers, you want to be on the outside. You know, when you go inside, you can't get back out. And the quarterback is throwing that ball over your outside shoulder. And once you go inside that DB, it's hard for you to then get back outside that DB.
4 wide the look here. Livingston in the backfield with Kelly in the shotgun. Snap, quick hitter out to the left side. Juking one defender, getting around another is Garrett House before he's finally forced out of bounds. And I think he moved the sticks there. I think he got just over 10 on the play. Really close. He's right on the marker.
Yeah, that was very close, and that was a good job of shaking one defender and then just he had 3, 4, 5 guys on him, and he continued to move his feet moving forward and even ended up getting up out of bounds.
Good leg drive, gets the first down. So 1st and 10 for St. Joe's at the Little Irish 21. Again, 4 wide, Livingston in the backfield with Kelly. Little misdirection, but it's a keeper. And there goes Garrett House, taking it to the house for a touchdown.
Garrett House to the house. And that's what we're talking about, a quick strike. You know, that's what they needed. If they want to get back into this game, they have to strike quick. Garrett House takes the ball all the way to the house. Let's see what they do here.
And we told you folks tonight that these were 2 teams that could put a lot of points on the board.
They surely can put a lot of points on the board. Now, if they go for 2 here, that puts them...
Oh, we're over 100, Donald. It's 65-38. We're over 100 total points now. They're going to go for 2 here to try to hit the 40-point mark. The only problem is Aquinas is at 65. Another spread look here from Joe's. Livingston in the backfield with Kelly. He's going to work as a lead blocker, and Kelly is in.
Had to expect
for a
that
2-point conversion.
Spread them out. They can't tackle Casey Kelly going up the middle of the field. And he's done what he's done all night. But they still got a long way to go.
8:35 left. 65-40 the score as we watch House on the end around. And again, some good downfield blocking by the receivers for Joe's. Trey Bowling was blocking downfield on that play, I believe. You see Livingston get out in front of the play. 42 there, Nick Julian, the tight end. And there's Trey Bowling out in front, clearing the way for House to reach the end zone.
And that's what it comes down to. You see running backs break big runs. You usually see wide receivers blocking down the field. But for the most part, those wide receivers don't get the credit they deserve.
Well, at least you're not biased about that. So 8:35 left on the clock here. And does Joe's kick off, or do they try another onside or a squib, a bouncing ball, something? Little Irish are expecting it. They've got their hands team up close to the 10-yard mark.
See if they go with that pooch kick.
You'll see what Joe's decides to do. Well, they just
Kick
booted
deep.
high and deep.
The knee was down.
And the knee was down on the catch, so they're going to call him down right there. Tough break there for Jake Schwab.
Now, the interesting part is, does Aquinas stick with their second string offense like they did the last time? It looks like they're bringing out their second string offense right now. Let's see if St. Joe's can stop their second string offense and get another quick score.
We see the knee touch down there by Schwab. And that's why they're at their own 8-yard line here to start this drive. John Clock coming back in at quarterback for Aquinas. As he brings in the play from the sideline. They got to rely on their running game here to kill the clock. It could not on the last drive. See if they have more success this time around. Hand off to the fullback on the dive, and he's barreling ahead for first down yardage and more.
That was
That's
a
Zach
strong
Johnson,
run.
Who's
Strong
listed
run.
as a tight end, but handling some fullback duties there and driving defenders back.
Fullback dive right up the middle. It happens so fast. The linebackers don't even know who has the ball. He gets it going right up the middle, and I'm telling you, DBs do not want to tackle fullbacks, and it showed right there.
So after that 12-yard carry, it's 1st and 10 from the 20. Just under 8 minutes now left in this game. Another inside handoff, but it's going to go for a loss.
Yeah.
As first on the scene there was Nick Julian, the defensive end, making the tackle.
Good sound tackle by Nick Julian. You're going to see them continue to eat the clock. Just run that clock down. They're going to take their sweet time, run the ball, and run the clock down every play.
Got to say, beautiful night for football, though. Just nice, crisp September evening.
Way
here.
ahead of yourself.
I don't
here.
want any of that yet. I'm not ready for that. Summer could last another 2 months.
Yeah.
For all I care. 2nd and 11. Coming up on 7 minutes left in this one. Aquinas firmly in control with a 25-point lead. Another fullback dive, but St. Joe's wise to that one and forcing another tackle for loss. Going to be 3rd and long here, and St. Joe's in good shape to get this ball back again.
They are. Frank Sclafani with the good play, and like I said, that fullback dive happens so fast, but he was right there in the middle, and he wasn't having any of it.
3rd and 13 is what Aquinas is looking at here. As we get up under 6.5 minutes to play. As right now, the clock is Aquinas' best friend. Clock under center, I formation. Another fullback dive play, and it's only going to get a yard or two. But it is going to run some clock here, as it's now dipping under 6 minutes left to play. And Aquinas will once again punt it away.
And we're going to get back to the Casey Kelly show here pretty soon, as they're going to punt this ball away. We'll see if they kick it to McCarley, and McCarley can even run a punt back. That would be great for the St. Joe's team.
Carley's got it parked at the Aquinas 42-yard line, awaiting the punt from Johnson. Punt is high and deep over McCarley's head and down quickly in Joe's territory at the 47.
The Casey Kelly show. We're going to see them spread out right here. Casey Kelly's either going to run the ball up the middle or he's going to throw it down the field. They need quick scores. This is the Casey Kelly show now.
Well, I mean, they mixed in some good play calling there on that last drive. You know, they have the pass play, and then they run the end around right after that. And so they've been using misdirection to kind of combat this fast flow defense for Aquinas. They get to spots really quick and limit the gains on offense for St. Joe's. That's why they haven't been able to get a lot of big plays like Aquinas has. So they've used some misdirection to kind of slow that down. I know many high school teams don't have much of a screen game, but wouldn't mind seeing that either. But here's another end around and a keeper. And weaving through traffic is McCarley down the sideline to the 25.
They went with the jet sweep as McCarley lined up in the slot to the right. You'll see this at the high school level quite often, that jet sweep play. Bills fans might see it out of the Panthers this week, but that jet sweep coming to your left. Great blocking by the receivers on the left side of that play, and that's what was able to spring him so that he can take that down the field.
29-yard run by McCarley, and it's 1st and 10 for Joe's at the Aquinas 24. Kelly in the shotgun. House in motion. Kelly back looking, now takes off to run to the 20, 15. Faking a throw. He's well beyond the line of scrimmage. He almost reached the end zone.
Yeah, he definitely almost reached the end zone. The right side, the wide receivers on the right side, both look confused. They both were in the same area running an out route. Casey Kelly wasn't even looking that way. He took off to the left, and he looked like he wanted to throw it. He was all the way down the field faking.
That's the hilarious thing. He's 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, and that fake still works. How does it still work?
Oh, man.
1st and goal for Joe's here.
Who gets
They
the
might
ball?
not catch Aquinas, but they're going to make this thing look respectable if they get in here. Kelly in the shotgun, another spread look. House in motion. Takes the handoff, and he's going to get in. He's going to waltz into the end zone untouched. His 2nd touchdown on back-to-back drives.
The only way you can stop the jet sweep is to get penetration by your defensive line. They weren't able to get penetration coming this way with McCarley, and they weren't able to get penetration there. If you don't get penetration by your defensive line, that jet sweep is going to go for some yards, and it ends up a touchdown right there.
So Joe's once again will go for 2. They are down 19 now. 2-point conversion here would cut it to 17 with 4.5 left to play. Kelly in the shotgun. House again comes in motion. Fakes the handoff, and he is going to walk into the end zone completely untouched. I got to tell you, this fast flow defense, they're buying the motion, hook, line, and sinker. Whoever has to play Aquinas in future weeks, they should take this to the bank.
They should take, especially that jet sweep. And then the jet sweep quarterback coming out the backside of that thing, because everybody went with the jet sweep right there as they thought they were about to hand it off to House again. And Casey Kelly comes back out the backside and goes in for 2.
So a 17-point ball game now with 4:35 left. Aquinas up 65-48 in what has turned into a track meet here at New Era Field. This is just not a lot of defense tonight.
No, not a lot of defense at all. But I told you, I'd like to see touchdowns.
Well, you've had more than your fair share tonight. I've lost count. So what do you do here if you're Aquinas, Donald? They've cut it now to 17 points. There's still 4.5 minutes left. I mean, it's a 3-score game, so you probably do you put Karan Robinson back in the game here on this next possession? Just to kind of keep the chains moving and kill the clock, 4-minute drill kind of thing?
I think so.
Of course, he might run it to the end zone and give the ball back.
He might give it back to him, but I think they'll take that 7 points.
Yeah, they'll take the 7 points. You're right.
But I don't know how long you can continue to have your second-string team in there.
Hands team is ready. Casey Kelly tries to pooch punt it over that Hands team, but Aquinas able to fall on it at their own 29. Let's see what the Little Irish decide to do here offensively. Whether Karan Robinson's going to stay in or come out.
Looks like he's coming out.
Yeah, he's going to stay on the sidelines here.
St. Joe still has 3 timeouts. They get a stop here and make this a respectable game.
So 4:33 left. Aquinas with the ball in their own 29, 1st and 10. And they got to get a couple of first downs here. They've been unable to do so on each of their last 2 possessions. And St. Joe's has responded with 16 quick points.
They have. They need a big turnover here so that they don't have to use any of their timeouts.
It's been a game of runs here, Donald.
Yeah.
Another fullback dive that goes nowhere. No gain on that carry.
At what point, Chris, do they start to take these timeouts?
That's a good question. I think you probably wait till about 2 or 3 minutes and then you start burning them. I mean, maybe you burn one here if you get a 3rd and long situation.
Right.
That last carry was by Sean Cottrell that went for no gain. Parinello back in the game at quarterback for Aquinas. 2nd and 10 here as we're now under 4 minutes to play. Another fullback dive, trying to bounce it outside, and with success is Cottrell. But he gets 6 yards on the play. I thought he was going to get more than that at first blush.
He wasn't able to turn that corner, but I thought he was. If he would have been able to turn that corner, that would have been.
He might still be running.
Yeah, he'd still be running, and that would have been the dagger for the St. Joe's team. But that was a good job of stringing him out and making that open field tackle. 3rd and 4 here. Let's see what they do.
Another reminder that next week's telecast will feature one of the biggest rivalry games in Monsignor Martin, St. Joe's and Canisius. Next Friday, September 22nd, here at New Era Field, 7 p.m. Donald and I will be with you to call that one. It should be a charged atmosphere, to say the least. You want to talk about 2 fan bases that just go at each other for the entire game? You'll see it here next week.
You'll see it.
It will be intense. Just picture 2 sets of Cameron Crazies. Just to kind of give you an idea of what it's going to be like.
I'm looking forward to it. I've heard so much about this game. St. Joe's will be looking to rebound from this week, regardless of what happens here. It hasn't really been a good game for them. They'll be looking to rebound. The fan bases, I'll be looking to just to laugh. You know, those student sections, when they go back and forth at each other, it's a funny thing to me.
So it looks like St. Joe's is not going to make use of timeouts here. They're going to let this clock run down on 4th and 4 with the ball at the 35. As Aquinas is happy to let as much time run down as possible before calling timeout. As we see Coach Anaquino talking to his punt team here. He's counting, making sure he's got 11 guys on the field. He's not taking any chances.
You definitely
Well, I
don't
got to
wanna
say,
have
it's
10
been an
guys.
exciting game from a scoring standpoint. I'm sure people that appreciate defense would like to see that a little bit more, but here's a look at Karan Robinson's night. I mean, juking and jiving, and then off to the races. I mean, he just pulls away from people. A lot of long runs from scrimmage, fighting away from tacklers. Initial contact, I don't think brought him down once tonight.
I'll tell you this, Karan Robinson might be the best running back in the state of New York. The crazy thing is we talked about earlier in this broadcast, this kid is a junior. He still has another year.
Well, he's going to be getting a lot of letters in the mail.
Oh, yeah. After this night, after tonight. Your junior year really is your big year for college and scholarships and all of that stuff. So we'll see where he ends up, but he has another year to play.
Punt now for Aquinas is up and away. Fair catch called for there by Garrett House. And St. Joe's will set things up for what may be their last possession of the game unless they can score quickly.
They'll have to score
Karan
very
Robinson's
quick here.
longest touchdown tonight, I think, was the 69-yarder.
Yeah, that kid is good.
Which was one of a couple of one-play drives for Aquinas tonight. I mean, it was an 11-point game at halftime, and they went out and put 30 unanswered points up on the board to blow the doors off this game. Now, they got some help from St. Joe's coughing up the football. They made it easy for him. Kelly rearing back, throwing it down the field, but missing the target there as it fell in between a couple of receivers. I didn't know if he was going for Trey Bowling or McCarley on that play.
You talk about Karan Robinson, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns on 11 carries. I don't remember where he was at 10 carries.
He was at 217, I want to say. It's just funny numbers. I mean, those are, like you've been saying all night, those are Madden numbers.
Yeah, those are Madden numbers. Like rookie-level Madden numbers, too. Like, you know, you can change it from rookie to expert. Well, he's playing on
You're
rookie.
talking my son's language now. I can't help you. He's averaging 24.4 yards a carry tonight. I just did the math. Kelly completes the pass out to the left sideline and forced out of bounds there.
Some situational football here.
Jack Oley.
Learning experience for St. Joe's. You want to get out of bounds right there so that you can stop the clock without having to take timeouts.
Looked like he was trying to, but they kept him inbounds, and the clock still runs. First down and 10 at the 43. Kelly in the shotgun, back to pass. Pass rush coming at him. Steps away from pressure, rolls out to his right, doubles back, eludes another would-be tackler, looking to heave it down the field, has a receiver, complete!
Great play.
The 25-yard line. That's a good job of the never say die play. The quarterback didn't want to quit on it, and neither did Garrett House. Credit to both those guys for keeping that play alive.
Man, Casey Kelly rolls out to his right, then rolls back to his left, sets up as best as he can, and throws a strike all the way down the field to Garrett House. Casey Kelly has an arm on this kid. Great play by him. Great way by Garrett House to get into his line of sight.
35-yard pass play down to the 25. Kelly from the shotgun again. Rolling out to his left, looking for a target. Throws it to the end zone, wide open, touchdown!
Man,
Garrett House with his third touchdown of the game. They've all come here in the fourth quarter on back-to-back drives. Where was that guy in the first half?
I don't think you called his name until the fourth quarter. Not even the second half, the fourth quarter.
I mean, he's the middle linebacker also for St. Joe's, but holy mackerel.
Casey Kelly once again rolling to his left, squares his shoulders, throws the ball back into the middle of the field, a strike to Garrett House for the touchdown.
We got 50 seconds left here, and a 2-point conversion will make this a one-score game, Donald. More misdirection. They give it to Livingston, and he's going to cruise into the end zone. Or I'm sorry, it's McCarley on the carry. for the two-point conversion. So 65-56 the score.
Casey Kelly, great plays by Casey Kelly, and this is what we needed to really see all night. He drops back, he looks to his right, and then rolls to his left, and you see him square his shoulders, throw the ball back into the middle of the field, and Garrett House was standing there wide open for his third touchdown of the fourth quarter.
And that's a throw that your coaches often tell you
Don't
not
make.
Don't throw it late over the middle of the
sin.
field.
That is a cardinal
But when
sin.
you have an arm like Casey Kelly and a wide open receiver,
It's
you
hard.
do
It is hard
you do it.
to not do that, and he was able to complete that one. A strike to Garrett House there as he rolled to his left.
So I apologize. My math was off. It's late, and we've had a whole lot of numbers thrown at us. It's a 9-point game, so it is not a one-score game after the two-point conversion. 50 seconds to play. Joe's down 9.
Garrett House, 3 receptions, 68 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. It's turned into a good game for Garrett House.
I'll tell you. You want to talk about, forget about a second half, a fourth quarter. Aquinas handles the pop-up punt. And they'll have it at their own 35 as they try to finally kill the clock with 47 seconds left. Now, Joe's has their 3 timeouts, but Coach Landry has not shown any inkling in using them before as the clock was winding down here in the fourth quarter. And it's still, like we said, you can't win it with one score or tie it even with one score because it's a 9-point game.
I'll tell you this. Regardless of what happens here in the rest of this game, Canisius will have their hands full, and it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize Casey Kelly and his arm, because late in this game, his arm has been put to use, and it has been shown off. Canisius is going to look at this film and say, man, we got to make sure we can corral this kid in the backfield. Do not let him run around and make plays. If they do allow that, Casey Kelly will put up big numbers on that Canisius defense.
Canisius has got some playmakers, too. State champs as well. So it's going to be a heck of a battle. We look forward to it next Friday because we'll have it for you here on MSG, as it is probably the equivalent of rivalry week at the college level, with Canisius and St. Joe's going at each other. 2 bitter rivals, 2 fan bases that are just as bitter in the stands maybe as the players are on the field. It's going to be a charged-up atmosphere next week. But that's the last kneel down for Aquinas as the final seconds tick off the clock. Aquinas comes out with a 65-56 victory. It wasn't that close due to some turnovers by St. Joe's. Poor ball security really cost the Marauders tonight, Tom.
The entire game, poor ball security, and I'm sure St. Joe's coaching staff is going to go back, look at the film. All week they're going to be doing ball security drills.
And I was unable to keep track with all the scoring that was going on, but you have to believe, I know for sure that Aquinas scored more than 20 points off turnovers tonight. And, you know, you look at where they went in the second half. It was an 11-point game at halftime. You had some turnovers there, and they put up 30 unanswered points. And by that time, it was just too little too late for St. Joe's to climb back into the game, even though they got a respectable final score. 65-56 is your final here in New Era Field. Aquinas heads back to Rochester with the win. Don't forget next week, Canisius and St. Joe's next Friday, 7 p.m., right back here on MSG, 7 p.m. kickoff. Chris Brown and Donald Jones here. We'll call all the action for you. A big night for Karan Robinson and Aquinas as they hang 65 on St. Joe's in an impressive victory.